Welcome to the Common Trips coverage, and it's a good afternoon to you all. It's the Premier League clash between West Ham United and Chelsea. I'm Russ Brennan, and I'm in the presenting chair this afternoon after last night's exploits, whereas in the commentator's chair for the 1-0 victory for Man City over Newcastle United. Aston Villa have just demolished Everton by 4-0, which was a very good match indeed to watch. And some good goals from Aston Villa as well, it must be said. This game is West Ham against Chelsea. Team news is in already. Kickoff is fast approaching. It's 7 minutes away. So without further ado, let's just first of all say a very good afternoon to our match commentator Paul James. And Paul, what is the team news, and give us both starting lineups and the substitutes bench, please.
Yep, certainly, Russ. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, Russ. And so interesting team news for Chelsea. They've got a liturgy of injuries. One positive out of the injury list is that Moises Caicedo does appear on the bench today. He was questionable, so he seems to have just shaken off that thigh injury a little bit. But he only makes the bench tonight. There's no injury worries for West Ham. Let's take a look at the starting lineup in just a second. There's one change from each team. Pablo Fornals is out for West Ham. James Ward-Prowse comes in. Reece James, of course, as we know, he is injured right now with a hamstring injury, and Malo Gusto comes in his place. So these are the starting lineups, starting with West Ham United, who are managed by David Moyes. Alfonso Areola in goal. Kurt Zuma, Vladimir Kufal, Naif Aguerd, and Emerson make up the back four for West Ham. The two holding midfielders are James Ward-Prowse and Thomas Souček. The three attacking midfielders are Said Benrahma, Jared Bowen, and Lucas Paqueta, with Mikel Antonio in that number 9 role. For Chelsea, a big squad, but still some selection headaches, obviously, from Mauricio Pochettino. And he has selected this team with Robert Sanchez starting in goal. Three centre-backs are Axel Disasi, Levi Colwell, and Thiago Silva. Ben Chilwell is a left wing-back. And also on the other side for Chelsea is Malo Gusto. And the two central midfielders are Enzo Fernandez and Conor Gallagher. Raheem Sterling and Chuck Nwaker are the two midfielders behind Nicholas Jackson, who is in the centre-forward position for Chelsea today. For Chelsea and their substitutes, Lucas Bergstrom deputises for the injured Marcus Bettinelli. He's on the bench today. Bashir Humphreys, Mark Cucurella, Ian Matson, Mikhailo Mudryk, Leslie Ugo-Chukwuk, Moises Caicedo, Noni Madueke, and Mason Burstow make up the substitutes for Chelsea. For West Ham, they have Lucas Fabianski as their substitute goalkeeper, Ben Johnson, Aaron Questro, Angelo Ogbono, Pablo Fornals, Edson Alvarez, Maxwell Cornet, Danny Ings, and Divin Mbama. The substitutes for West Ham, and that's your team news for today.
Thank you very much there, Paul. And Paul, when you look at the two lineups, and just before we go into some where you think the key battles may be, just look at Stativ, which I'm not sure if you've got written down from what I saw when you sent it filters the other day. West Ham have lost 100 derbies, which is more than any other Premier League side, and Chelsea have won 149 Premier League London derbies. There's only one team that has won more with 150. Can you name them, Paul?
Well, I want to say it's Arsenal, but I'm not 100% sure.
You are correct. It is Arsenal. Arsenal have won 150 Premier League London derbies.
It's 2 for 2 this weekend, Ross. 2 for 2.
It is, yes. Especially after that one they got yesterday correct with my little quiz I set on the commentary yesterday. So the teams are almost ready to come out on very, very shortly. Just look at the key battles. Then Who do you see as the key battles today, Paul, in both sides? Probably starting with the midfield battle. How do you see that midfield battle going? And who do you reckon that's where the game could be won and lost?
I think so, but I think Chelsea has opted for a very sort of attacking lineup with Chuck Mawaker and Sterling behind Jackson. Um, I think West Ham have got their work cut out defensively dealing with those three because essentially he could move to a 4-3-3 at any time and push Sterling and Chuck Mawaker up alongside Jackson. So that could be an interesting battle to see how West Ham's defence with Zuma and Aguerd cope with Chuck Mawaker, Sterling, and Jackson. So that should be interesting as well. As for the midfield, well, we know James Ward-Prowse starting for West Ham today. I think this is his league debut today, Ross, actually, for West Ham, and he is going to be up against the likes of Conor Gallagher and Enzo Fernandez. So that should be an interesting battle as well. With it being a derby, I never predict with derbies. It's so hard. It's really a question of who wants it most. It's East London versus West London, and I actually think we are going to be in for a real cracker today.
Yes, absolutely, Paul. Absolutely, the teams will be out on the field in just right about now. Before we do that, we'll just like to mention our co-commentator for the game today. And say a very good afternoon for the first time to Mike Onnon. And Mike, just a quick one from you. Ahead of kick-off, what's your score prediction for this game?
Yeah, good evening, Russell. Good afternoon, I should say. For me, as Paul said there, it's going to be a very tight game. It's going to be an entertaining game, I believe, as well. So for me, I don't really want to sit on the fence, but I'm gonna have to. Could go either way this one, really. With I'm looking at the lineups now, and both sides have got some real talent on show. So yeah, I'm kind of gonna have to sit on the fence as much as I don't want to.
Okie dokie then, Mike. There's Mike Onnon. He's alongside your match commentator, and I'm going to hand over to them both now. First of all, Mike Onnon first. Paul James.
Thank you, Ross. Good afternoon once again. Good afternoon, Mike. And our first job of the day is to run through the teams one more time. We'll start with West Ham with Alfonso Areola in goal. Kurt Zouma, Vladimir Kufal, Naif Aguerd, Emerson, James Ward-Prowse, Lucas Paqueta, Thomas Souček, Michail Antonio, Jared Bowen, and Said Benrahma. For Chelsea, they start with Robert Sanchez in goal, Malo Gusto, Thiago Silva, Ben Chilwell, Levi Colwell, and Axel Disasi, and Enzo Fernandez, Conor Gallagher, Carney Chuck Mawaker, Raheem Sterling, and Nicholas Jackson make up the Chelsea lineups. As mentioned before, the substitutes, starting with West Ham, is Lucas Fabianski, Ben Johnson, Aaron Cresswell, Angelo Agbono, Pablo Fornals, Edison Alvarez, Maxwell Cornoy, Danny Ings, and Devin Mbwama. And for for Chelsea, it's Lucas Bergstrom, Mark Cucurella, Ian Matson, Mikael Mudryk, Leslie Ugo Chukwuk, Moises Caicedo, Noni Madueke, and Mason Burstow. Our referee today is John Brooks. He's 33 from Melton Mowbray in Leicestershire. And he took charge of Crystal Palace's 1-0 win at Sheffield United last week. And he's joined on the lines by Lee Betts, Akhil Howson, fourth official Craig Pawson, Paul Tierney, and Scott Ledger is in VAR. The game is underway, and Chelsea are attacking the goal to our left. They are in their blue shirts, blue shorts, and white socks. West Ham, of course, in their famous claret and blue shirts, white shorts, and claret socks. And Mike, just to bring you in early on here, there's definitely a chance for West Ham here while Chelsea are playing this badly at the moment. Just one moment here. Is Chuck Mawaker. He gets the cross in and it's just headed away. And it's back again and cleared one more time by Emerson, but he only gets the ball out of play. It's going to be a throw-in for West Ham United. I will bring you in a moment, Mike. And the ball is now with Conor Gallagher for Chelsea. Gallagher plays the ball across the far side there to Colwell. Colwell drops it back to Silva. Silva tries to play the ball through. It's picked up by Jackson and comes out on the edge of the box there to Fernandez, but it is blocked. And now Paqueta plays the ball away, but he doesn't really find anybody. And it just goes aimlessly into the Chelsea half of the field. And Disasi has picked up that ball and giving it in the midfield. Mike, what do you think today? Do you think West Ham can upset the odds and put a further dent into Chelsea?
Oh, absolutely. They've certainly got a chance. They've got a lot of talent on show with the likes of Paqueta and Jarrod Bowen. Just to name a couple of players there. Mikel Antonio, I think, is leading the line as well. So they do have options. And this Chelsea side is a very much changed Chelsea side from the last couple of seasons. And they're in sort of a transition period, really, at the moment. So if there's any time that it's, you'd sort of want to play Chelsea, it'd be now.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they certainly haven't been right. Now, under Pochettino, they may be able to fix some of the issues from last season. We've got the long ball is played forward here and just headed out to play by Thiago Silva. It's going to be a throw-in for West Ham United. Just down there is Paqueta right now, just grabbing his shin at the moment. He looks in some discomfort there and rolling around, and we're just going to see whether the referee is going to allow the physio onto the field. John Brooks has gone over to investigate. We'll just take a look at what happened here. It looks an innocuous type of injury. I'm not sure if he even connected with anybody there, but
it didn't really look like it to me. It looked like it was kind of, I don't know really. It looked like he went down. I need to have a look at it again. He went down under a challenge from, I think it might have been Conor Gallagher actually. We kind of muscled him out, sort of out of the way a little bit. But yeah, there wasn't really an awful lot in it for me at all.
No, I wonder if he just fell awkwardly there. That's he's basically being sought over by the physio right now. We're just going to go through some additional score lines for you today as well. We, of course, had the Women's World Cup. I'm not wishing to break any English fans' hearts by repeating that scoreline, but Spain did beat England 1-0. Earlier on today, Aston Villa beat Everton by 4-0 after they were hammered last week by Newcastle. So it's an excellent bounce back by Aston Villa. And goals there was by John McGinn, Douglas Luiz, Bailey and Duran scored the goals for Aston Villa. Big win for them today.
Yeah, massive win for Aston Villa. And as you say, they had to bounce back on the back of being beaten heavily last week by, was it Newcastle, I believe, wasn't it, I think? So, they had to bounce back there, and they did that in style. It was a very comfortable win for them earlier this afternoon, yeah.
Long throw in by Kufal and headed out of play. Headed out of play by Thiago Silva. It's in fact going to be the first corner of the game. So the long throw in by Kufal already creating some problems for the Chelsea defence. And James Ward-Prowse is now going to take this corner on this near side. And it looks like he's going to outswing this one, the former Southampton and England international. He swings the ball in, and it's just headed down, and Sanchez comes for it, but he just drops it. He's not able to claim it, but Chelsea are able to recover, and they come away on the ball now with Gusto. Gusto just over the halfway line, and he drops it back, and it's a long ball over on this far side. Now they're chasing Chilwell there, but it goes all the way through to Areola, and he clears the ball downfield to his opposite number, Robert Sanchez. A little bit of panic early on in the Chelsea defence, Mike.
Yeah, you saw there from Robert Sanchez. Didn't look exactly comfortable in terms of that challenge, but then down the other end, there was an error from the West Ham player as well. So early doors, it seems like both of the two sides are making a couple of sloppy mistakes. I think it was I can't remember who it was there for West Ham. Might have been one of the centre backs that made the mistake there, just to kind of let the ball slip through. And obviously Chelsea weren't able to capitalise, but Robert Sanchez was, not very comfortable in terms of that moment that he had as well. So it's kind of a bit both really in terms of a couple of early mistakes both sides.
Yeah, we're just taking another look at that corner. Sanchez went for it; he wasn't able to get anything on it. But I've just noticed just before there's been some more errors in the Chelsea defence, giving the ball away there while you was talking, Ross. Mike. And they've, to be honest with you, they don't look very comfortable. And they're giving the ball away again. And here's Bowen. He tries to just play in Kufal there, but the ball goes behind off Gallagher for a corner. And once again, another cheap corner given away by Chelsea. And they are not looking very comfortable early on at the back. And let's see if West Ham can take advantage of this. Conor Gallagher just making sure that the ball goes out of play this time. And we're going to have a second corner for West Ham. And it looks like Gallagher just might have hurt himself as he went down. So the outswinging corner again by James Ward-Prowse. And the head is up there, and it's a goal! And it's in there! And it is the number 27 for West Ham. It's Aguerd, and West Ham take the lead. Again, it was an unchallenged header in the penalty area. And going back to what we were saying, Mike, that header, unchallenged, it was in the net. Nobody really moved, including the goalkeeper. You can see it outswing here. Aguerd, edge of the 6-yard box. And definitely there, Chuck Nweke wasn't close enough. And it's in the net. And it's 1-0. And it's Naif Aguerd, the goal scorer. And talk us through that one, Mike.
Yeah, that was a brilliant delivery, and that's what James Ward-Prowse can offer you as well. You know, right onto the money there, and Aguerd gets away from his man and just nestles that one nicely into the bottom corner. I think it's just beats Conor Gallagher there as well. Conor Gallagher, was a little bit caught wrong side possibly, and it was what might have been the other centre back as well actually. But Conor Gallagher was also involved a little bit, but. Yeah, that's what I was saying regarding James Ward-Prowse. Obviously, they've lost Declan Rice this season, West Ham, and what he brings. But the set pieces that James Ward-Prowse can offer you, wow. Deliveries like that, that's inch perfect, really, just right on the money. And when you've got somebody like Aguerd who's going to always attack those ones, you're always in with a chance.
Yes, absolutely. And right off the bat here, West Ham take the lead, and this will. Really get this home crowd here at the London Stadium on their feet. Obviously, if you're a West Ham fan, any victory over Chelsea is more than welcome. But now here come Chelsea now, and it's round the goalkeeper. He goes down. That could be a penalty. Ariola is saying no. We're going to have... Oh, it's offside. The VAR may check that it's offside, but it went through there to Jackson. Jackson went round the goalkeeper. It looked like he was taken down, but it also looks like it was offside, so it's not really going to matter.
Yeah, Ariola there. Yeah, I think you can count his blessings a bit. You can count yourself lucky with that one because that would definitely have been a penalty. But yeah, I think Jackson just moved a couple of fractions too early, really. But otherwise, Chelsea would have been right back in with a shout with a penalty there.
Yes, he goes round there. That's definitely a penalty. But I'm looking at it again, Mike. I'm not convinced that it's offside. It may be. I mean, looking at it with the pictures I'm seeing now on the VAR, it could be, but it's very, very tight there.
Yeah, actually, to be honest, I need to see that again, but it did look like he moved just a fraction too early. Maybe his knee, potentially, something like that. It only takes fine margins these days with the offside as well, as we know. It could be it could even be his little toe, to be honest, or anything like that, and it would still be given as offside with the way that things are. I don't know though.
They've given it as offside. Yeah.
There wasn't a load in it though. Yeah.
No, there wasn't. It was very, very tight, and that's something for discussion throughout the day between the two sets of fans, and obviously between us to kind of discuss later on. But I think that is very, very tight indeed. Throwing now to West Ham. Jackson showing his how dangerous he can actually be. Incredibly quick. Was round the goalkeeper there, and that certainly would have been a penalty had he not been in an offside position. And here's Paqueta, gets the cross in, looking for Bowen. It's headed out and picked up again, this time by Benrahma. Benrahma drops it all the way back to Kurt Zouma, who goes all the way back to Ariola inside the West Ham goal. His clearance is not the best. And now Chelsea can come forward, but almost an interception there by Said Benrahma. He goes down, but the referee has determined that there was a foul there, in fact. And already you can kind of see this game taking shape into what is going to be a very, very entertaining game, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see that it's ebbing and flowing nicely after the first 11 minutes or so, just over 11 minutes now. We've seen mistakes from both sides. Ariola there, was fortunate to get away with that one with the offside from Nicholas Jackson. Sanchez had the moment where he kind of spilt the ball out as well. There's been errors at the back for Chelsea as well, and obviously the goal, on top of that. So yeah, there's certainly been moments in this game early on where both sides can really feel a little bit encouraged. That they'll be able to hurt the opposition.
Benrahma has the ball now just inside his own half of the field, and he slips it out to Jared Bowen. Just in front of him there, he's got options. He's got Kufal, but he deserves to go. He decides to go back, and the ball is played long forward there, looking for Kufal, but there is just no way he's going to get that. Thiago Silva deals with that, and it's cleared forward now, long. Chasing back is Kurt Zuma, but under pressure is from the speedy Nicholas Jackson, and he goes all the way back to Areola, and it's back now with Kurt Zuma. Just under pressure there by Carney Chukwuemeka, who's really an energy bolt himself. And the ball is played forward now, and chasing this one is Michael Antonio. Antonio inside the penalty area. Can he get the shot away here? Antonio, he does. It's blocked. And it's over on the far side now. And the ball is going to be just crossed in here, I think. No, he's working towards the edge of the area. I think that was Said Benrahma, but Chelsea come away with the ball now. And picked up at the back there is Aguerd, but Aguerd is dispossessed, and there's a free kick here. We have our first yellow card of the game. And that yellow card, let's have a look here. It looks like it's going to be flashed to the Aguerd. Chukwuemeka does go down very easily there.
I think, to be honest, that is a cynical foul, though, and obviously with the way that the referees have been taught, have been taught to deal with things these days, I should say, in the last couple of weeks or whatever before the start of this season, any sort of fouls like that, cynical fouls are automatically going to be given yellow cards. So I don't think Aguerd or anyone can really have any complaints there. It's just the letter of the law these days.
All right. Well, here's a free kick from Fernandes. Just whips it in, headed up into the air by Aguerd. It's only out as far as Carney Chukwuemeka. Mweka gives the ball on the edge of the box to Sterling. Sterling gives the ball to Chilwell. Back to Chukwuemeka. The three Englishmen just working amongst themselves there. It's finally given to Thiago Silva and back to Chilwell. Chilwell gets the cross in, looking for options there, and underneath that one is Jackson, and he's just not able to get his head over the ball. But that's Chelsea's best chance so far, Mike.
Yeah, and it's come from Nicholas Jackson as well, and he does look like Chelsea's danger man up front there at the moment. Good ball in from Chilwell, and Nicholas Jackson just couldn't quite get his header down, but he's certainly Chelsea's danger man up top there. He's causing West Ham a few problems early on.
Well, the ball is cleared forward by Kurt Zuma. Chasing up for that one is Michael Antonio. It's even a little bit too big for him. And it's back at the back there with Colville. Colville gives the ball to Disasi. Disasi goes back to the goalkeeper, Sanchez. And here's Thiago Silva. And again, just dropping the ball. Chelsea trying to slow the game down, I think, a little bit. They've definitely been caught out defensively in the first half. West Ham have a 61% win chance now, with 16% for Chelsea, 23% being a draw. And the ball is played long, and is looking for Nicholas Jackson again. And what he seems to be having the better of Zuma and Aguerd in the centre by quite some distance. He's so incredibly fast. Zuma and Aguerd are really going to have to watch him very carefully.
To be honest, I was going to say Aguerd even more so now that he's on a booking as well.
Here's Chukwuemeka, edge of the penalty area, and he drops the ball back. He's given it to Chilwell. Chilwell just drops the ball back to Conor Gallagher. Gallagher, midway inside the West Ham half of the field. He sprays the ball long over on the far side. It's Sterling now. And he drops the ball back to Sterling. And Sterling just dances into the penalty area. Sterling just looking to get the cross in. He does, but he's not able to get it into the penalty area and ends up pulling it over the crossbar. And, Mike, Chelsea sort of getting themselves back into this game now, starting to create opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the goal has woken Chelsea up a bit there. I think, that's kind of what they needed to go behind. And you can see now that they're really trying to force the issue a bit against this West Ham defence. So, yeah, I think, the goal there has kind of given a bit of lease of life into Chelsea. I think they've kind of woken up and they've realised that they, are in for a bit more of a game than they maybe even expected before West Ham had taken the lead.
Benrahma crosses the ball in. It's just out to the edge of the area. And it's headed away. Thomas Souček tried to get the ball back into the box there. But here's West Ham pursuing again. It's Kufal. just down this near side, tries to get the crossing. Kufel, and there's a chance it drops to the edge of the penalty area to Souček. Souček just drops the ball to Benrahma, who has a shot. It's blocked. And it's just headed out there by Chilwell. And as far as Jackson, and Jackson's away here. And, well, he almost got away from Aguerd. Aguerd just got across and made the challenge. Nicholas Jackson is extremely exciting to watch. I have to admit, I'm enjoying not just commentating, but watching this guy. He's so incredibly quick, and he's going to cause a lot of Premier League defences some problems. Here's Ben.
Yeah, absolutely. And just regarding Aguerd, there, he done very, very well to win the ball off of Nicholas Jackson, because obviously he's on a yellow card from that challenge just a few moments ago, and that's going to give Nicholas Jackson a lot of encouragement. Not that he needs it with the pace that he's got.
Here's Fernandez, centre circle inside his own half, and he plays the ball forward. It's back with Conor Gallagher now on the halfway line, and it's a simple approach here by Chelsea, just patient. Conor Gallagher, he just drops it back here to Colville, back to Gallagher, and is to Chuck Nweke, and here is Chilwell. Patient build-up by Chelsea now, just wanting to keep possession of the ball just for a little while. Here's Thiago Silva. Over on the far side to Disasi. Disasi is dropped back there to Fernandez, and Fernandez has the ball now. And again, no press from West Ham at the moment. Chelsea just able to keep possession with relative ease at the moment. Here's Fernandez. He gives the ball to Sterling. Sterling running the West Ham defence again. Can he get the cross in, Sterling? Well, it was a little bit better this time, but still much too close to Areola. But Sterling also causing 1 or 2 threats down that side, Mike.
Yeah, he is. Raheem Sterling's looking quite bright. He had a good run there at the West Ham back line. And yeah, it was a decent delivery in, but Areola claimed that quite comfortably in the end. But yeah, Raheem Sterling's also looking quite bright. And I'm sure the Chelsea manager, Pochettino, will be looking to get more out of him throughout the season after what really wasn't a fantastic season for Raheem Sterling last season, or for Chelsea as a club either.
Yes, we'll talk about that in a little while. I would like to know how they've managed to spend close to $500 million and I don't think, and I stand to be corrected, I'm not sure they actually finished in the top 10. But anyway, here's Enzo Fernandez and Conor Gallagher. And Gallagher just drops the ball over to Sterling, and Gallagher gets it back. He just drops it back there to Disasi, who gives the ball to Thiago Silva. Down this near side now to Colville. Colville plays the ball forward, and just coming back is Chuck Nweke, and he gives the ball back to Disasi again. And he goes over the halfway line and drops the ball to Sterling. And the ball is played forward to Sterling again. Sterling just trying to get inside the penalty area again. And this time he plays the ball off the West Ham defender Emerson, and it's going to go behind for a corner. It's going to be Chelsea's first corner of the game, and we've got almost 20 minutes gone here at the London Stadium, and it's West Ham United 1, Chelsea 0.
It's good defending from Aguerd as well. I think he done really well just to knock that one behind there against Sterling.
Yes, it was a good interception because, Sterling's starting to create some issues down there. And it's going to be Chilwell now, I think, with the corner on this on that far side. He's going to swing this one in. And the heads go up, and it's in the air, and it's well claimed by Areola. And no mistakes there. Couldn't afford to. And he has the ball. And you're listening to Alternative Commentary on the Commentary Hub YouTube channel. Today's Player of the Match sponsor on the Hub is sponsored by Commentary Services. And just so you know, Commentary Services would like to thank our broadcasting partners for this season, JB Sports and Storm FM. And Commentary Services is the official Player of the Match sponsor on the Hub. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Commentary Live 1, and you can like our Facebook page at facebook.com/the Commentary Hub. And just inside his own half here now is Bowen. He plays the ball. It's given away. And now Chelsea can come forward again now with Chuck Nweke. Chuck Nweke looking for Sterling. He actually finds him off a couple of West Ham defenders. Emerson was one of them. It's crossed in by Sterling, but it's a good interception by Souček. It's headed into the air by Emerson, but headed again away by Souček. And it's all the way back now to Conor Gallagher. It's about 35 yards out. Conor Gallagher. And it's looking for options here. Let's see what he can find. He actually goes for a shot, Gallagher, and it's a good save. And it comes back out to Nicholas Jackson, and he hooks it over the bar. But a powerful effort there by Conor Gallagher, Mike.
Yeah, very good effort from Conor Gallagher. Opens up there, has a shot from a bit of distance, and then it's spilt out and parried by Ariola, and Nicholas Jackson had to do a lot really to score from that position. But I think West Ham needs to be a bit tighter there in terms of getting a man or two closer to the Chelsea midfield, because Conor Gallagher there had so much room, so much time, and the West Ham players and the West Ham fans I think will be needing to. What was I going to say? But basically, I think the West Ham fans would be disappointed with that, in terms of the fact that their players were allowing a lot of time and space there for the Chelsea man to get a shot away.
Enzo Fernandez manages to find gusto on the far side, but this is again patient build-up by Chelsea, and I think what we are seeing is a lack of press from West Ham right now. They're almost inviting Chelsea forward. And here is Disasi to Gallagher, midway inside the West Ham half. It's just dropped back to Colwell. Thiago Silva. Disasi. And he gets the ball back, and he's just looking for options now, Disasi. He's got alongside him there is Thiago Silva. Thiago Silva has the ball now, and he plays the ball long down this near side to Chilwell. Chilwell infield there, and Chuck Mawaker is chasing this, and he gets the better of him, and Chuck Mawaker gets into the penalty area now. He's got options. It's pulled across. Oh, and it's a good piece of defending there by Souček. Oh, that could have been real trouble for West Ham, because Carney Chuck Mawaker had got into the penalty area there, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good play again from Chuck Mawaker, who I think has been a fantastic signing for Chelsea, by the way, moving from Aston Villa, of course, a couple of seasons ago, and good defending there from West Ham. I was actually just going back to what we were talking about a minute ago as well. Chelsea actually finished the season 12th last season, so they were pretty much well out of the top 10.
Yeah, it's very, 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 very poor for so much money being spent. Do you feel that Pochettino is the answer to Chelsea's problems? I'm not saying they're going to take Chelsea to glory and win the league and all the silverware, but do you think that is the answer to at least stabilising Chelsea? I'll get your answer in a moment, Mike.
Okay,
here's Enzo Fernandez. He crosses the ball in, and that's a header. Oh, it's just wide from Ben Chilwell. It just kind of glances off his head from the cross there. You can see the ball comes right back there to Fernandez. It's a beautiful ball in. Chilwell just can't direct his header into the corner. And Mike, just comment on that, and then we'll go back to you, the question I asked you a few moments ago.
Yeah, it's a good delivery in, and Chilwell there gets the wrong side of his man there. And just couldn't direct that one at goal. But another moment for Chelsea there. It was a good little bit of a. Actually, it was just kind of flicked on by Chilwell. I wasn't sure if he got a touch originally, but just kind of a very small touch there in terms of that one. Didn't really trouble Ariola in the West Ham goal, though.
And do you think Pochettino can perhaps stabilise Chelsea a little bit?
He's going to have to. They can't be any worse than last season. If they're any worse than last season, they'll be. They could potentially be in a relegation fight. We were talking about it last season. It's a little bit of a joke at times, but they weren't that far off. They were, what was it? I think about 12 points from, 10 points off the relegation zone. I think it was it finished. They're going to have to be a lot better. And Pochettino is a good manager. Obviously, he's been at Spurs, and he's been at a few other clubs as well and hasn't succeeded. But maybe this is the challenge that he needs as well, to kind of get a team to kind of rise up the division a little bit, rather than have all that pressure that Tottenham had in terms of challenging for trophies, etc. Going to be an interesting season anyway, nonetheless, and there's still time in the window, and I'm sure they'll probably still strengthen. The money that they've spent, is crazy considering where they finished, but I still think there's more in this for Chelsea. I still think they'll end up buying one or two more.
Well, that's very possible. They've got the money to do it, of course. The ball is played long, and it's looking for Michail Antonio, and just chested back to the goalkeeper by Disasi, who he releases it quickly as Sanchez, and he gives the ball to Thiago Silva. Silva gives the ball to Conor Gallagher, still just inside the Chelsea half, over on the far side, and it's picked up there by, it's actually picked up down this near side by Colwell. and the ball goes out of play. Colwell tries to play the ball across, but it goes out of play, and it is a throw-in. And West Ham at the moment still holding this slender 1-goal lead against Chelsea, but it has to be said the last 15 minutes or so have really belonged to Chelsea. It's Colwell with the throw-in now, and he just throws it back here to Chukwuemeka, who gives it to Thiago Silva. Silva gives it to Disasi. Disasi's got Gusto alongside him, but he plays Chukwuemeka instead. Chukwuemeka, he's good challenge there that time, but the ball goes out of play, and it's going to be a throw into Chelsea, almost right on the halfway line. It's Colwell dropped back to Thiago Silva, who once again just gives the ball to Disasi, and he plays the ball over on the far side to Gusto. And it's Conor Gallagher back to Disasi, back to Thiago Silva, who's almost operated like a quarterback in this first half. And here's Enzo Fernandez, plays the ball into to Jackson. Jackson just slips the ball back, and it's now with Chilwell. Back to Colwell. Chelsea just building up slowly. Here's Conor Gallagher. Gallagher drops it back to Chilwell. Back to Colwell. And it goes all the way back. And you can see here, Mike, at the moment, like just to the listeners, you're not really missing much at the moment. I'll bring Mike in just a second. Here's Jackson. Oh, he turns beautifully. Jackson with a chance. Can he get a shot away here? He goes all the way back to the byline. It's pulled back. And it's Kufal who just hooks the ball away. And Chelsea now coming forward one more time. And here's Chilwell. Can he get the cross in? He does. Oh, it's pulled back to the edge of the area to Chukwuemeka. Chukwuemeka, beautiful little turn, gets a shot away and he scores. And it's 1-1. And Chelsea are level, and it's Carney Chukwuemeka turns away from the defender beautifully in the box and just strikes it into the left-hand corner, far away from Areola. And Chelsea are level, and this London derby is all tied up. Mike Hardiman.
Yeah, that was brilliant bit of play there from Chukwuemeka. He just cuts inside, really good feet from the Chelsea man, and just curls that one past Areola, who's got absolutely no chance there in the West Ham goal. And game on again.
Well, it's been coming. There's certainly been no question about that. You see Ben Chilwell here just almost by the byline. The clearance is not the best by Zoom, and it comes right to Chukwuemeka, who just turns away from Souček there in a really sparkling way, actually. Souček just shows the ball to Souček and just turns away from him beautifully. I don't think Zuma really closes him down, or Ward-Prowse closes him down quickly enough there, Mike.
No, I think you're absolutely right. And when you look at Carney Chukwuemeka there, as I said, that's really good play from him. And obviously he's come from the Aston Villa Academy. So maybe, as I was saying about Pochettino before, obviously being a relatively youngish manager, that might be his way to go, signing these young players that have been brought through at some of these other clubs. Obviously that was Carney Chukwuemeka's first senior goal. So it's not a bad way to get your first senior goal in football anyway, that's for sure.
No, that's definitely true. And I think it's something Graham Potter started by wanting to sign some of these younger players. Here's Nicholas Jackson. He drops the ball back, and he gets the ball back there. There's Nicholas Jackson. He just drops it now back to Colwell, and it's picked up by Enzo Fernandez. Now over on the far side there, totally unmarked, is Gusto, but he decides to go back to Disasi, and Disasi again. He plays the ball long, and it was a very, very optimistic ball, but it does find Chilwell, and it's now back with Enzo Fernandez. Fernandez, long ball over the top, looking for Sterling, almost found him. Good work by Emerson there, but Sterling does pick it up, and it's back on the edge of the area with Gallagher. Gallagher down to Chukwuemeka, and now it's given to Gusto. Gusto gets the cross in, looking for options. His header is on, really there by Chilwell, and now it's back to Fernandez. Fernandez back with Chilwell. Back on the edge of the penalty area. It's now back with Thiago Silva. Chilwell gives the ball down this side to Enzo Fernandez. And he just cutting in the penalty area, Fernandez. And he gets the ball across to Colwell, and it's a good block by Kufal. A vital block as Chelsea once again knocking on the door of the West Ham defence. And the pressure keeps coming from Chelsea, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely. And West Ham are going to have to do an awful lot to stand up to this pressure as well, with the likes of Chukwuemeka and Sterling and Nicholas Jackson as well, that are really causing a few issues here to the West Ham backline. Just going back to Carney Chukwuemeka as well, that was his first senior goal for club, but in terms of country, For England under 19s, he actually was very, very good. I think he scored a goal pretty much almost every 2 games for them. I think he made 13 appearances and scored 6 times. So he does know where the back of the net is in terms of international football.
Yeah, I think he's definitely a future England international for sure. The referee, John Brooks, there just going over to settle something between Chilwell and Souček. They're still shoving and knocking into each other, but the corner is going to come in, and it's just outswung, and there's a header, and it's wide. And the header there, just wide. It was a good, well, it was sort of a free header, really. He got up there. You might have considered that a chance for Colwell, Mike.
Yeah, certainly half a chance there. I'm not too sure, how much he really got on it. I don't think he really got an awful lot on that to direct it at goal or trouble Areola or anything like that. But it's certainly half an opportunity there for Chelsea. Just kind of, I wouldn't call it a full-on chance, but it's still another moment for sure.
And the ball is played forward now, looking for Jared Bowen, but chasing back is Colwell. Good work by him, and the officials flagged those up in a rather pointless fashion anyway, considering Chelsea have possession of the ball. But the game will continue. There's no need to stop things here. Here's Thiago Silva, and he's looking at options as well. You are listening to Alternative Commentary on the Commentary Hub YouTube channel. And Commentary Services would like to thank our broadcasting partners for this season, JB Sports and Storm FM. Commentary Services, the brilliant Commentary Services, is the official player of the match sponsor on the Hub. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Commentary Live 1, and you can like our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Commentary Hub.
I was just going to say, you just mentioned there about the game being pretty free-flowing, and it has been. I don't really remember any stoppages in terms of the opening 33 minutes or so. So I know we've still got a bit of time, but we might not actually see the normal 13 minutes or so like we saw earlier in the England game this morning.
Well, let's hope not, because I think he gets to the point of absurdity like that. The ball is out on the far side to Benrahma. He's got 2 Chelsea players in front of him, but he drops the ball back to Benrahma and just swings the ball across over on the far side looking for Jared Bowen. Bowen has the ball in front of him. He's got Chilwell in front of him. Bowen turns and he gives it to Kufal. Kufal cuts inside. He's going to get the cross in. Benrahma is over there, but that's a good piece of defending by Gusto. And now Chelsea can move away, and it's Nicholas Jackson. Oh, look at this guy go. He plays it over on the far side to Sterling, and Jackson's in again now. And it's a tight angle, but there's nobody up there with him, probably because they can't catch him. But he tries to swing that ball across there, Jackson. He was at a tight angle for a shot. But once again, he just outstripped the West Ham defence. And now Raheem Sterling has the ball, and it's knocked behind by Aguerd. And once again, Chelsea are looking bright up front, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's that man, Nicholas Jackson, again, mostly, although Raheem Sterling was involved for a moment there as well. And it makes you wonder, doesn't it, whether Nicholas Jackson has been involved in athletics at a younger age or anything like that with the pace and the speed that he's got, because he's certainly very rapid up top there.
Yeah, he was away, and of course there was no support up for him, unfortunately, for Chelsea. But there was a tight angle, and Paqueta falls asleep there and lets in Raheem Sterling as well. So I think Paqueta has been shown the yellow card as well, incidentally. And the cross comes in. It's just headed back to the edge of the area. Oh, and he just slipped at the vital moment there. Did Gusto? He just at the vital moment he slipped when he was about to get the shot away. And now West Ham can move away, and it's Michail Antonio, the big man, is brought down, and it'll be a free kick. And another yellow card issued here. We're just trying to see who that is. That is issued at Disasi. So Disasi goes into John Brooks' notebook, and that's the 3rd yellow card shown in this game.
Yeah, cynical again, really. It's pretty similar to the one earlier on where I think it was Agard that got booked earlier on for a pretty similar kind of thing. So no arguments there, I think, for Disasi or for Chelsea, as Michail Antonio was certainly getting away.
And the ball is played forward from the free kick, and it is headed out of play by Disasi. And it's going to be a throw into West Ham. It's level with the Chelsea penalty area, and Kufal is about ready to take this. And you can see, if you look around on the stadium, there's almost no empty seats left in the house. This is such a big game for both teams. Kufel launches it in. It's headed up into the air by Souček. It's out to the edge of the area to Paqueta with a shot. Oh, it clips the outside of the post. And Paqueta coming so close there. Well, I'm not 100% sure really whether Sanchez would have had that covered, but it just bounced out to Paqueta on the edge of the penalty area. I'd say looking at that angle, he probably did have it covered, but it just clips the outside of the post there. Close.
Yeah, I think he did have it covered as well, if I'm being honest. And actually, that was West Ham's first opportunity in this spell here, sort of 15-minute spell. Chelsea had a lot of the opportunities at goal. I think they had 5 or 6 in that time, and that was West Ham's best opportunity since allowing Chelsea level, I should say, and not that far away either. Paqueta can count himself a little bit unlucky there.
Well, while you was talking there, Mike, the stats came up. The possession, 73% possession for Chelsea. That's a staggering amount. That's Manchester City sort of territory, is that really? The ball is played forward, looking for Jackson, goes all the way back to Thiago Silva. Silva just drops it back to Disasi. Disasi plays it forward. Conor Gallagher picks up the loose ball, and he just drops it back to Fernandes. Fernandes has got options ahead of him. He's trying to play the ball into Sterling. It's a wonderful pass. Sterling just his first touch just let him down. If he'd have been able to have brought that down any better, he'd had a real chance there. But what a wonderful ball from Enzo Fernandez, Mike.
Yeah, that's what Enzo Fernandez can do. Brilliant ball over the top there. Sterling's in, and a little bit fortunate there from the West Ham point of view. I think it was Agad just kind of was able to do enough there in terms of stifling the attack and the opportunity. But yeah, that ball from Enzo Fernandez to pick out Sterling, right to his foot as well, was a wonderful delivery.
The ball is back now with Enzo Fernandez. His cross was blocked that time. It looks like he might get another bite at the cherry, though. He has the ball back, and this time he opts to just drop it back to Conor Gallagher, who's going to have a go himself. No, he drops it back to Colwill, and Colwill gives it to Chuck Mweka. Colwill, as Chelsea just sort of camping inside the West Ham half of the field right now. They've got every player in the West Ham half of the field except the goalkeeper. Here's Enzo Fernandez, and it's Conor Gallagher. Fernandez just drops the ball back to Thiago Silva. And it's over back to Fernandez, and Fernandez just gives it to Sterling. Sterling passes the ball back. It's back now with Gallagher. Back to Fernandez, who's been really impressive in this first half. I have to be honest, based on this first half alone, Mike, you have a Herculean task in choosing a player in the match today. But the game continues now with...
Absolutely. I was just going to say, it could go from either side at this moment in time, yeah.
Here's Jackson, edge of the penalty area, and he slips the ball to Chuck Mweka. It now finds Sterling in the penalty area, but there is a free kick for a foul by Chuck Mweka, and it looks like Chuck Mweka I thought the referee was going to get his notebook out there, but he actually hasn't. And we'll just look at this again. It looks like it's a late challenge by Chuck Mweka there on Emerson. And, well, Mike, it's late, but you think it's yellow card worthy?
For me, I think it is. I think when you look at some of the yellow cards that have been given in this game, the likes of the one that was given to the Chelsea man, I can't remember who it was, just a few moments ago, and the one for Agard as well. It's quite similar to those. He does leave his foot in there. So I think he's a little bit fortunate to get away with that one, personally. Basically based around some of the other challenges that have been given yellow cards in this first half anyway.
Well, he definitely hasn't got away with it, Mike, actually, because the yellow card has been given. Comment in the comment section by Miraj Shah saying, Hi Miraj, hope you're well, and hope you're enjoying the coverage today. So the ball is cleared downfield. And yes, I was initially right in my thinking that the referee did get the notebook out, and he did book Chuck Mweka.
What I will say is that's very consistent refereeing, and I like that. I very much like that a lot.
It's Enzo Fernandez, and you're right about that, Mike, actually. It's nice to see for a change. Enzo Fernandez plays the ball to Chuck Mweka, and Chuck Mweka just drops it back there to Colwill. Colwill gives it to Chilwell as Chelsea continue to knock on the door. Here's Sterling now. Sterling dancing into the penalty area. He goes down there, and that could be a penalty, and it is. The penalty has been given, and Sterling danced into the penalty area, and it looks like James Ward-Prowse is a guilty party, and Chelsea have a penalty. Not Ross, sorry, I apologise, Mike. Let's just take a look at that again. Oh, it's right on the edge of the penalty area, and it's Souček. My apologies to James Ward-Prowse. Souček is the one, and he's immediately said no, but to me, Mike, I think it's Stonewall.
I think it's a penalty as well. Just want to see, just to make sure it is actually inside the area. I think initial contact potentially might be outside. It was Souček, but there was also potentially a shove in there. Yeah, I think potentially it might be outside, but that's the only thing that West Ham could argue. It is definitely a foul when, Chelsea get that penalty, which they thought they might have had earlier on in the half for that one on Nicholas Jackson. But the only argument for me, it is a foul. The only argument is whether it's inside the area or not, and it's deemed to have been,
Yeah, the VAR check looks like the referee has, let's see what the outcome is. I don't know whether he's given, it is. He's given it now. And it's going to be Enzo Fernandez that's going to step up for Chelsea to give them the lead in this London derby. It's Enzo Fernandez against Areola. Areola just dancing on his line, and he's just waiting for the referee, John Brooks' whistle. Here comes Fernandez, and he steps up. And, it's a super save by Areola. Oh, my goodness me, that is a super save. Now, it might have been at a good height for him, and we'll get Mike's thoughts here in a moment. In fact, Mike, if you want to just give your thoughts on that now, what a good save.
Yeah, that's a brilliant save from Areola. You would have maybe thought that Fernandez was going to be favourite there, but really good goalkeeping from Areola there. And then the West Ham able to get it clear as well. So, maybe a little bit of a lucky escape there from West Ham.
Yeah, that's. The only thing I will say, though, is to be very critical, is it's a good height for the goalkeeper, but I don't think it's a badly taken penalty. I just think Areola's got a cross well, guessed right, got a cross well, made a good save. This should really lift West Ham somewhat, and maybe see if they can now start creating some opportunities themselves, as we have about a minute to go in the first half, Mike.
Yeah, what I was going to say as well, I don't know whether Areola moved a little bit too soon, whether he was slightly off his line at all or anything like that, potentially. Just from the way I saw it there, maybe he did. But I think it's going to be an interesting end to this half anyway. It's been ebbing and flowing nicely.
Yes, and we've certainly had some VAR controversy as well, because they did check that penalty. They deemed that it was inside the area. I think it might have been on the line, and of course, if it is on the line, that's a penalty. But it's been very, very interesting with the disallowed goal, the action that we have had. We've had a pretty good game to watch in this first half. It's picked up by Sterling again, who once again attacks that West Ham defence. He gets clattered that time. And the referee now has stopped it, and it's going to show a yellow card again here. And it seems that the tempers are now starting to fray, Mike. Sterling and Emerson clash there. Yellow card has been flashed in the face of Emerson, that time for West Ham. He's still protesting. He needs to move away, and his teammates are now moving him away, and it's the correct thing to do.
Yeah, most definitely. And again, it's really good, consistent refereeing. Every time there's been a foul like that or a challenge like that, the referee has been quick to go to his book. So as much as, you don't want to see players getting yellow cards, he's certainly been consistent. I remember, I think there's been 4 incidences and the yellow cards have been brandished on all of them. So, very good refereeing throughout this first half, I think, in terms of the consistency levels.
It was high. I hate to say this, Mike, because I don't like to see players get sent off, but that could have bordered on a red. It was very late and very high.
Yeah, it was late, and I'm not too sure. Yeah, that is very late, actually, from Emerson there. Raheem Sterling took a little bit of a dislike to it and kind of, I think, shoved Emerson back afterwards. So, it could have potentially been a red, but maybe it's kind of in the bracket of the orange card, maybe. Yeah.
Well, Mike, I'm not sure where our fourth official, Craig Pawson, has got 6 minutes from, but that's where we're at right now for the stoppage time. 6 minutes, and I don't know what to say about that because I can't account for the 6 minutes. Maybe the VAR checks.
I can't account for 6 minutes either. I know we've had moments with VAR and stuff, but hey, that's I didn't. I said it wasn't going to be 13, but 6 minutes is still a bit extreme, personally. Yeah.
Here's Conor Gallagher now, and he slips the ball to Gusto. Gusto just tries to drop the ball back, and he finds Disasi, and here's Thiago Silva. And Silva just gives the ball back to Disasi. And Chelsea now, once again, back in the West Ham half, where they've spent much of this first half. The ball is over on the far side there to Sterling, who has been a real threat in this first half, and he cuts into the penalty area again with ease. He pulls the ball back to Jackson, and he comes all the way out to Chilwell. Oh, that should have been 2-1. What a chance! Chilwell gets the ball back, and it's out to the edge of the area, and it's played across there by Colwell to Enzo Fernandez, who's also been impressive, and he's fouled that time, and it's going to be a free kick by a foul by Lucas Paqueta. But, Mike, what a chance for Ben Chilwell there.
Yeah, big opportunity for Ben Chilwell there. And good defending, actually, from West Ham in the end. But Chelsea are certainly turning all the screws and putting all the pressure on in terms of trying to force the goal. Anyway, West Ham had that moment through Paqueta, but other than that, it's been pretty much all Chelsea. In fact, since they levelled up this game.
Well, we've got a free kick about 35 yards out. There is a two-man wall for West Ham. Mikel Antonio is in it, but it's taken quickly by Fernandez. Over onto the far side to Gusto, which is cross is blocked by Jared Bowen, and it goes out of play. And Malo Gusto in the lineup today. He's been incredibly impressive in this first half as well, as much of this Chelsea team has since the first goal went in for West Ham. It's going to be a corner now for Chelsea as we have completed 3 minutes of stoppage time in this first half. The cross comes in. Everyone up there, and it's just knocked away by Areola for another corner. Opting not to catch it there and just thumping it behind for a corner to Chelsea on the other side this time. And I just wonder what David Moyes is going to say at half-time, and we'll get Mike's thoughts on that after this corner. Yes, Chelsea have been much of the better side for large parts of this first half, and the corner's going to come in again. And once again, it's going to be Enzo Fernandez. He plays it short this time to Jackson. Jackson, just inside the penalty area. Is he going to get a shot away? No. He gives it to Carney Chukwuemeka. And it's down on this near side to Sterling now. He's moved over to the left-hand side, but he's dispossessed. And he's dispossessed by Paqueta, but Sterling fighting back and knocking the ball out of play. He's worked so hard in this first half. And Mike, while we've got a break here, what do you think that David Moyes has to say at half-time to try to get this West Ham team to create something, create chances, and try to get a winner?
It's going to be a really interesting half-time discussion there from David Moyes. I think they're just showing the penalty again. It did look like he was off his line, Areola, actually, as well, for that incident there. But for David Moyes, I think he's going to have to sort of say along the lines of, we started the game bright. We were at Chelsea. We were forcing mistakes, and then they kind of just stopped doing that and allowed Chelsea to play. So I think that's going to be the message. Just kind of that this Chelsea side, they're young, they're inexperienced, and there is mistakes in there. It's kind of been forced and shown early on.
Yeah, definitely true. And Souček is fouled there, and it's going to be a free kick to West Ham. We've played 5 of the 6 minutes of stoppage time here at the London Stadium. And to be honest with you, at this point, I can't see much more than 6 minutes being played. But of course, as we're all aware, 6 minutes is the minimum. Chukwuemeka is now down clutching his knee. And he looks in some discomfort there, does Chukwuemeka. But he is... he's just holding his knee there. And Chelsea do not want any more injuries at this time because, to be honest with you, they have already got a liturgy of injuries, Mike. They have a big squad, of course, but they do have a lot of injuries that they could really do without.
Yeah, most definitely. And this is a key player for them as well. Obviously, we mentioned Nicholas Jackson and Raheem Sterling. But obviously, Chukwuemeka is the man who's got the goal for Chelsea. And he has looked bright and he has looked lively. And has caused this West Ham side problems as well. So it's certainly an injury that they want to be able to heal up nicely, and for him to be able to carry on and play the rest of the game and have a bit more of an impact.
Do you? I mean, while we've got this break in play and Chuck Mawaker is receiving his treatment, why don't you give me your assessment in the first half? Tell me what you think about what each side needs to do to kind of pick up the 3 points today.
As I said with West Ham just a moment ago, for them, I think it's to kind of go back to how they started the game. They had moments where they were playing on the frailties of Chelsea, the youth, the inexperience, and we're kind of basically just at the Chelsea backline, who are being forced into a few mistakes and a few errors, and that's obviously how they got the goal as well, from a good delivery from James Ward-Prowse. I think his set pieces actually will be very important in the second half as well. Once again, but as for Chelsea, I think more of the same. Really, they've really grown into this game, and I think it'd be Pochettino that's the happier at the break in terms of the chances that they've created, and with the missed penalty as well, they really should be in front.
Yeah, absolutely. I think certainly given the chances that they've actually had, I definitely agree with you there, Mike. Now, right now, Chelsea look like they may be they're readying the Ukrainian international, Mikhailo Mudryk, and this could be a direct replacement for Chuck Mawaker. I don't know if they're going to wait till half time to see if they can deal with it at half time. They may be looking to make this change right away, which of course would be which would be bad news, because it would mean that it is serious. And you can see he's being helped off by the physio team there at Chelsea, and that's sad to see, because Chuck Mawaker is an extremely exciting player to watch, and we wish him all the best. Of course, nobody ever wants to see a player get injured, especially for any long period of time. So he's being helped off the field now as we speak, and he's being taken to the locker room. As for
it's another serious injury as well. I know we've had a lot of talk over the last couple of weeks. Jurrien Timber for Arsenal is now out for 7-8 months. With an injury that he suffered last week. We've had quite a few injuries, which are going to be long term, and I wonder whether that's down to the amount of football that these sides and these players have had to play.
Yes, very possible, Mike. Very possible. It's there's a lot that they've had that the two teams have had to play, and certainly it's going to be a long season. And then at the end of this season, there's the Euros as well. So it doesn't get any easier for either of these teams, to be fair. Here's Nicholas Jackson. He goes onto the far side. For the time being, Chelsea are playing with 10 men, and as we approach the end of this first half, and here's Thiago Silva. So we may see at halftime, we may see Mudryk coming on at halftime. The referee, John Brooks, blows for halftime, and it is 1-1. Goals on 7 minutes by Aguerd with the header from West Ham to give West Ham the lead. Chuck Mawaker's equaliser 21 minutes later, and Fernandez's penalty miss are the main highlights of this first half. But at halftime at the London Stadium, it is West Ham United 1, Chelsea 1. From me and Mike, back to Ross.
Thank you very much, Paul, and thank you very much to Mike as well. Brilliant first half coverage from both of them, and we'll be back with them very shortly to get their thoughts on that first half and see how the second half will look to shape up as well. It's been a good first half, both teams trying their best, just probably just edging it at the break as well. What we're going to just quickly go and do, we're just going to take a quick break as well. We'll be back in a couple of minutes on this Super Sunday Clash. It's West Ham United 1, Chelsea 1 at the break. Welcome back to the Contraps coverage of this Premier League clashes. West Ham United 1, Chelsea 1. Either way, we'll get the thoughts of Mike Orneman in just a moment, our co-commentator for that first half, and see what he reckons ahead of the second half of the match. Well, in a moment, we'll go through the scores from the other matches that took place there. In the Premier League earlier on, it finished Aston Villa 4, Everton 0. Goes from McGinn, Douglas Luiz, Leon Bailey and John Duran with the goals for Aston Villa, with Dominic Calvert-Lewin returning from injury and then today, and then going off injured in the game as well. In the Championship, finished Norwich 3, Millwall 1 earlier today as well. Rowe, Sargent and Barnes with the goals for Norwich, with Amaeku for Millwall in there. In French League 1, Lille 2, Nantes 0, Le Havre 1, Brest 2, Lorient 1, Nice 1, Reims 2, Clermont 0, Monaco v Strasbourg is a 6 o'clock kickoff, Lens v Rennes 8:15. German Bundesliga, Union Berlin 4, Mainz 1, Frankfurt 1, Darmstadt 0 at the break. Italian Serie A kick-off later on. In just around about 90 seconds now, it's Roma against Salernitana, Sassuolo against Atalanta, and then this evening it's Lecce against Lazio and Udinese against Juventus as well. In the Scottish League Cup today, we'll just quickly run you through these three scores here, and it was Arts 4, Porto Thistle 0, Hibernian 2, Raith Rovers 1, and Kilmarnock 1, Celtic 0. Celtic jumped out of the Scottish Cup. In La Liga, Girona against Getafe is at 6. At half 6 is Barcelona against Cadiz, and at half past 8 is Real Betis against Atletico Madrid as well. So plenty of matches taking place today. We'll keep you across some of those at the end of the match. But also one happened earlier on today, which all English fans would want to forget about. In the Women's World Cup, it finished Spain 1, England 0. England losing out to a fantastic finish in the first half from Spain, and it was a well-taken goal. And I just want to give a big credit here now, on behalf of everyone here with the commentary. But we want to say a big, massive congratulations and well done to our very own Nicholas Jones, who provided excellent coverage. He's our women's correspondent here on the commentary, but our England Lionesses correspondent, and he has done a fantastic and remarkable job during the World Cup coverage here for us this summer. And right now, we're just going to turn our attentions to the Chelsea against West Ham against Chelsea, which is currently 1-1. I'm just seeing the penalty save again, and I think what Chelsea may have been moaning about was there was encroachment from Souček and a couple of others, which is why I think the referee was, and the Chelsea players were a bit annoyed that the penalty wasn't retaken. But overall, Mike, has been a good first half. Chelsea probably edged in terms of chances and possession in the last 10 to 15 minutes, probably after Chelsea equalised really through Corner Chukwuemeka. But what did you make to the overall performance in that first half? And first of all, Mike, and then I'll get your thoughts on some other stuff afterwards. So just again to recap, in case anyone missed it, overall thoughts on that first half.
Yeah, I thought it was very good from West Ham to start off the game. You know, they got the goal early on. Sorry, I should say. Great delivery from the corner from James Ward-Prowse right onto the head of Agard there, who just nods it past Sanchez in the Chelsea goal and comfortably gives West Ham the lead there. And I thought they deserved it at that sort of moment in time as well, early on in the game. But then Chelsea really got a foothold of the match, and yeah, the likes of Nicholas Jackson, I thought he was fantastic in that first half, causing this West Ham backline all sorts of problems. I thought Raheem Sterling had his moments as well. And then obviously the goal from Chuck Nweka, which was a lovely finish as well, just curled into the corner past Areola there. And as you say, I think Chelsea deserve to probably be ahead with the chances they created even before on level as well, and in this country as well on top of that. So, as I said towards the end of that first half there, it'll be the Chelsea manager Pochettino that's for me going to be the happier of the two managers in terms of what they've created. And David Moyes has kind of got to get West Ham back to how they started that game, because they were forcing a few errors, forcing a few mistakes, and that young sort of naive backline of Chelsea and team of Chelsea as a whole, I should say, were were being caused a few issues, and that's how West Ham can get themselves back into the lead in this game, I believe.
Yes, and Paul would touch upon it briefly with me just before kick-off, man, before you came in, just before I had a kick-off, and we're touching about the key battles, and Paul was saying he thinks the key battle was going to be that midfield battle with Souček and Ward-Prowse and Fernandes and Gallagher for who's in the Chelsea side and West Ham side respectively. And he said that was going to be the key area. Whether one of them duels in there were probably going to win the game. How have you seen that midfield battle go so far? And for me, I think Chelsea probably so far probably come out on top in that midfield battle.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I think Chelsea have controlled it in large. I think Fernandes and Gallagher have looked very bright. There's been a couple of really good moments from Fernandes. There's a free ball over the top to Sterling, which I thought was a fantastic delivery. Conor Gallagher's had a couple of opportunities at goal as well, where West Ham backline weren't closing him down, and were kind of we're kind of allowing him to have a lot of time and space to get his shots away. I think the Chelsea midfield are controlling it so far, and that's allowed the likes of Nicholas Jackson to really run at this backline of West Ham, who are struggling to deal with him, really.
Yes, absolutely. And just touching on West Ham then, Mike, I know you touched on it briefly in commentary with Paul towards the end of that first half, but when you look at the West Ham side, they started off really well, just got back into it and finished the half stronger, which is what we would expect from Chelsea, having done really well. Who's done well in previous seasons, not last season, but seasons before that in the table, and West Ham struggled a bit last season. What do you think needs to be different from West Ham in this second half if they are to push on and get a winner? And then, say for Chelsea, what do you think needs to be different from them if they are to push on and get a winner?
I don't think Chelsea really need to do an awful lot differently at all. I think if they continue as they are, they'll certainly be creating a few more opportunities in this game, and there'll be space opening up for them and things like that. I think there's they don't have to do anything differently to how they've ended that half, or had the final 20 minutes or 25 minutes of that half, really, maybe even half an hour, in fact. As for West Ham, I said it a minute ago. It's just how they can kind of bounce back from allowing Chelsea into this game now, and maybe trying to see what they can do in terms of that midfield. They really need to win the midfield battle there. Souček and Ward-Prowse are fantastic players. I know they're only learning each other's styles and everything like that, not playing together for very long. And maybe that's had an impact on things as well. But just looking at the subs as well for anything that West Ham can do in terms of changes, that there's options there on the bench. So maybe you might see somebody like maybe a Danny Ings or a Cornet come on, even a Fornals potentially as well, that can have a different kind of take on this game, and maybe they might have a bit of an impact in the second half. But I think Chelsea fans can be very pleased with how the first half's gone from them. The only disappointing thing is that they're not ahead.
Yes, absolutely. Then absolutely, we're getting ready for the second half. Stokely with the Premier League game between West Ham and Chelsea. Some excellent games that we've got coming up on the channel later on over the next weekend as well to bring you. We'll hopefully have a few more in the upcoming weeks and months of the season. We're not going to stop just yet. Just because the Women's World Cup has stopped doesn't mean we're stopping. The Football League season is now up and running, and the Premier League too, and we're now going to be bringing you all the action from across those as well. We may even dip in some European leagues as well, like La Liga, the Bundesliga, French Liga, and Italian Serie A as well. Looks as though Michaela Mudryk may be coming on for Chelsea as he's just getting an intense warm-up just before he comes on to the field of play. It looks like a man be replacing Corny Chukwuemeka after the break, who went off, hobbling off towards the end of that first half, but it looks as though he may come off altogether in the short, very, very shortly. So we'll get ready to hand over to Paul James, who can tell us about that in just a second. Mike, you said at the start you were going to sit on the fence. Well, you said you didn't want to sit on the fence because you didn't want to get any splinters in your backside. Mike, just looking at the second half and where the first half has gone, do you think Chelsea will win this, or are you still sticking by going on the fence?
No, I think now looking at the game and the way that it's panned out, Chelsea certainly are in the ascendancy at this moment in time. Obviously, football is a funny game, and that can change in an instant, in the blink of an eye, etc. But yeah, Chelsea are in control at the moment.
Yes, so the teams are back outside of the second half. We're just waiting to try and get the confirmation of who's going to be replacing who. Mudryk is going to be replacing. We think he could be the goal scorer, Corny Chukwuemeka, which will be confirmed in a moment. So let's hand over then to your match commentators for the second half. Is Mike Onneman, but first, with the news of the change for Chelsea, is Paul James.
Thank you, Russ. Welcome back, everybody. So just looking at this, we've not got an update on the change yet. It definitely does look like Mudryk is coming on, and I think we can say with about 99% certainty that it is Chukwuemeka, but we haven't had anything official as of yet. So we'll just wait and see. But you can see there, Mudryk is looking to come on at this time. Having a final word from Pochettino, Mike, Mykhailo Mudryk, impressive player. He's shown himself to be very competent in this league as the West Ham team are now coming out. What do you think? Do you think he can bring to this second half?
Yeah, I think you can offer something a little bit different to Chukwuemeka. It is Chukwuemeka that's made way as well, by the way. I've just seen that been confirmed. And I think that, he's a very good player, real talented Ukrainian international, and a player that Arsenal were looking at as well. And obviously he chose to move to Chelsea and to the west side of London, on top of, playing for his country as well, of course. And I think he'll offer something a little bit different for Chelsea in terms of the style. I think he was going to probably play a bit more through the middle and support Nicholas Jackson as a sort of second forward.
All right, well, we've got the West Ham team just in the centre circle now, ready to get the second half underway. They'll be attacking the goal to our left. I'll just run through the lineups real quickly. Unchanged West Ham of Alfonso Arolia in goal, Kurt Zuma, Vladimir Kufal, Naif Aguerd, the goal scorer, Emerson, James Ward-Prowse, Lucas Paqueta, Thomas Souček, Michail Antonio, Jared Bowen, and Said Benrahma. Of course, one change for Chelsea. Robert Sanchez in goal, Malo Gusto, Thiago Silva, Ben Chilwell, Levi Colwell, Axel Disasi, Enzo Fernandez, Mykhailo Mudryk now on, Conor Gallagher, Raheem Sterling, and Nicholas Jackson. So that's the only change at half-time as the game is underway in this second half now, and Mudryk wins the ball immediately, but is determined to be a foul on Lucas Paqueta, and the referee, John Brooks, has awarded the first free kick of this second half. And here's Kurt Zuma, as the confirmation actually just flashes up on my screen, Mike, as well. Chukwuemeka off, Mudryk on. The ball is played forward to Michail Antonio, who seemed to be held there for a moment. Right in front of the official on the far side, the assistant choosing not to give that as a free kick. Enzo Fernandez just drops it back to Disasi, and Disasi gives it back to Fernandez as the second half starts very much in the same manner as the way most of the first half have gone, with Chelsea in possession. Here is Thiago Silva. He gives the ball to Disasi, and it's back to Fernandez. Fernandez plays the ball long, flicked on beautifully by Mudryk. What a ball that would have been. Unfortunately, just didn't find Chilwell on the far side, but that was a fancy bit of play, Mike.
Yeah, very good play there from the Chelsea man, and it's unlucky there for the through ball as well. But no, Chelsea look like they've started in the same vein that they ended that first half, really, and really attacking this West Ham defence. And yeah, they're kind of playing on the fact that, you know, they kind of had the majority of that first half pretty much under control. As I was saying to Russ, I think that, you know, West Ham started brightly with 5 or 6, 7 minutes getting themselves ahead, and then sort of after around about 20 minutes or so, it was, or maybe even a bit before that, in fact, it was Chelsea's to kind of control really that first half.
Well, Mikel Antonio is down again. I don't think the referee has given a free kick here. He actually has. Yes, he has given the free kick, and it's taken quickly, but it seems to have been given to Chelsea, much to the manager David Moyes on the far side, looking absolutely furious at that. But here is Disasi, and he gives it to Gusto. Gusto now goes back into his own half, and he decides to go all the way back to the goalkeeper, Robert Sanchez. Sanchez just gives the ball to Thiago Silva, and he gives the ball to Disasi, as once again Chelsea just happy to keep possession and patiently build up. It's Jackson here, just drops the ball there to Fernandez. Fernandez gives the ball to Raheem Sterling, who's dispossessed by Emerson, and then in turn he fouls James Ward-Prowse, and it'll be a free kick to West Ham United. We've had 3 minutes gone in this second half at the London Stadium. It's still miraculously West Ham United 1, Chelsea 1. Looking at the stats at half-time, there was a 78% possession for Chelsea in that first half, and they have the ball back again. And Enzo Fernandez just loses it this time to James Ward-Prowse. Emerson gives the ball away to Jackson. Jackson plays it ball through to Sterling. Sterling gets the ball across, but it's hacked away by Koufal. And as far as Emerson just tries to flick the ball on, but Fernandez wins the ball back. It goes down under pressure. But West Ham have the ball now, and it's Paqueta. Paqueta just plays the ball. It looked like it played the ball off Gallagher there, and it is in fact a throw-in to West Ham United. And again, giving the ball away as well, West Ham isn't helping their cause, Mike.
No, it's not. And obviously, Chelsea, you know, have had moments where they did that in the first half themselves as well. But West Ham, you know, obviously need to kind of get a bit of a foothold in this game. And
the ball is through. I'm sorry, there's a chance on here. Sorry, Mike. We'll get back to you in a moment. It's Saïd Benrahma with a chance. Oh, how did he miss? Please tell me how he missed that chance. Saïd Benrahma gets inside the defence. He's one-on-one, and somehow he pulls it wide.
I think he's got a bit too much time and space. I think he's, you know, I think he's kind of a little bit torn about what to do in that incident. You know, I'm not sure whether he's waiting for support, whether he's not confident enough to have a shot at goal. You know, like I don't know what really was going through his head there, but that really should be 2-1 to West Ham.
Yes, it certainly should have been, and I don't know that they'll ever get another chance like that again in this game. And Mike, I do apologise for interrupting you. Do you want to just finish your earlier point?
To be honest, I don't really remember what I was saying, to be fair now, so we'll just carry on and we'll move through it.
Well, the ball is here with Disasi, and he plays the ball to Enzo Fernandez. Fernandez, it's intercepted now, and West Ham can maybe move forward a little bit now. And here's James Ward-Prowse from the edge of the area. We know how dangerous he is from there. His shot is blocked. And it's won back, though, again by Saïd Benrahma, working hard there. And here's Paqueta. Paqueta gives the ball to Souček, and Souček drops it back to Aguerd. Aguerd plays it across to his centre-back partner, Kurt Zouma. Zouma plays a wonderful ball long, but it's a good interception by Colwell. But West Ham still have the ball here. And just over this one is Koufal, and Koufal is dispossessed. And Chelsea now moving forward. And here's Jackson. Jackson just tries to flick the ball on there. And he picks up Mudryk. Mudryk gives the ball to Chilwell over on the far side. He's level now with the West Ham penalty area. Back to Chilwell, and he gives the ball to Gallagher. Gallagher just gives the ball to Enzo Fernandez. He just tries to slip the ball through there to Mudryk, but the ball is won back. And Chelsea now get the ball back. They'll have another opportunity as they're once again camped inside that West Ham half of the field. And here's Gallagher. Gallagher plays the ball forward to Mudryk. Mudryk just holds the ball up, and he pulls it back here now to Jackson. Jackson trying to get the ball back there, but it's a good piece of defending by Souček. Wins the ball back for West Ham. Now let's see what they can create, but they're only successful in putting the ball out of play from Souček. And once again, it just hands the ball back to West Ham. And again, there, the ball is given away. And
I think that's what you were saying, to be honest, just a minute ago about West Ham giving the ball away in these sort of dangerous areas and things like that. I think West Ham, what they really need to do is kind of just have a bit of composure and maybe just string a few passes together and kind of get the confidence that way.
Yeah, definitely true. The ball is crossed in there now, and it's claimed by Areola. Well, again, we're just seeing some action on the Chelsea bench there as more substitutes are out warming up, and West Ham though now coming forward with Paqueta. Paqueta just drops it back there now, back to Aguerd. Aguerd plays the ball forward. He got the goal for West Ham, and the ball is over the halfway line now, and Said Benrahma trying to win the ball back. He gets a second chance. He gives the ball to Michail Antonio. Antonio, such strength. He's got into the penalty area. Antonio with a shot. Oh, I say, that's absolutely magnificent. Absolutely magnificent. The strength and pace of Michail Antonio gets into the box and he drills it past the goalkeeper to the right-hand side to give West Ham a surprise 2-1 lead. And Mike, tell us all about it.
Yeah, that was a brilliant bit of play there from Michail Antonio. A lovely finish. And Sanchez in the Chelsea goal there, absolutely no chance. I think there was a mistake there from, who was that? I think it might have been, who was that? The Chelsea player that made the mistake was the number 2, Disasi, who's on a yellow card already as well. It was caught out a bit there. I think he'll be disappointed with that. But what a finish from Michail Antonio anyway, that's for sure. And certainly that goal comes against the run of play and West Ham back in front again.
Yes, Michail Antonio, the strength that he's got. And he was starting to get in a very awkward angle there. But the finish was absolutely superb. Totally against the run of play, as Mike mentioned. But West Ham take the lead again now. And now they have an opportunity to maybe grab victory from the jaws of defeat, really. As West Ham get the game back underway. Chelsea get the game back underway, and it's with Enzo Fernandez now. And this is going to force Pochettino's hand a little bit, Mike, because he's going to have to be looking now at maybe some changes from the bench, because despite the possession, despite the chances created, West Ham are still winning this game.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, at the moment, Chelsea have had their moments, but they're not being clinical or they're not really doing enough in those incidences. So West Ham, Zuma's doing well at the back. So's the likes of Soufal, I think Aguerd, etc. as well. They're all doing their job pretty well at the moment, and Souček and that sort of just in front of them as well. So yeah, they're certainly going to have to offer something a little bit different now, Chelsea, and maybe Mudryk that's come on might have to have a bit more of an impact than what they were sort of hoping for. That he has pretty much straight away. Really, now he's not had much time in the game, but yeah, maybe Mudryk's going to have to really show what he's about now.
Well, you can see the ball that was played through there as well, just while you was talking, Mike. Mudryk just trying to bring through Jackson into the play there. But, it was very quick off his line was Areola. I think he's well aware of the speed of Jackson. He was quick off his line there, but he seems to have taken a bit of a knock, and he's still down, and it's a head injury, so the play is going to have to stop. While that's going on, you are listening to alternative commentary on the Commentary Hub YouTube channel, and the brilliant commentary services is the official player of the match sponsor on the Hub, and commentary services would like to thank our broadcasting partner for this season, JB Sports and Storm FM. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Commentary Live 1, and you can like our Facebook page at facebook.com/the Commentary Hub. As the game is back underway, and this stat that I'm going to read out to you now, Mike, really tells the story. Completed passes, 416 to Chelsea to West Ham's 100. That really tells the story of this game, doesn't it, in terms of possession? Yeah,
it does, because when West Ham do have their moments where they're in possession and do have the ball, they tend to be giving it away. And Chelsea, they're good with the short passes, and they're not as good with the longer balls through. I know Nicholas Jackson has caused a few issues, but a lot of those are probably short passes between maybe the midfield, etc. for Chelsea.
Well, Here's Gallagher. He just drops it back to Thiago Silva. And I think what we're going to be looking at very soon is more action on the Chelsea bench. I suspect the ball is long, looking for Jackson, and it just goes behind Jackson and goes through to Areola. Indeed, we are now. We're seeing one of the Chelsea substitutes strip off. I'm just not sure who that actually is.
I think it might be Caicedo, I believe.
Moises Caicedo. Yes, that would be a reasonable substitution at this time, Mike, because he presents an attacking midfield option that I think Chelsea really desperately need right now. So, yes, we may very well be seeing Caicedo. That move was on and it was off, and it was on and it was off, but finally Chelsea got it over the line.
Yeah, they obviously were competing with Liverpool for a lot of that, weren't they, as well, and were able to get the job done and get their man in the end, yeah.
Well, we may be seeing him very, very shortly. At the moment, though, here is Gusto. Gusto drops it back to Disasi. Disasi is now with Thiago Silva from Colville. And Thiago Silva just drops it back to the goalkeeper, Robert Sanchez. Back to Disasi. Is Chelsea still patiently building up? They're not panicking. There's still lots of time in this game. Here's Disasi. And just tries to play the ball long, looking for Jackson, but good defending there by Aguerd. But Chelsea pick up the ball almost on the halfway line with Conor Gallagher. Gallagher plays it down to Sterling. Sterling has got a number of West Ham players in front of him, but he dances into the penalty area and he goes down on the edge of the penalty area, and it's going to be a free kick in a very dangerous position for Chelsea here. They're going to have a lot of options. This is almost right on the edge of the penalty area. Sterling there, surrounded by 4 West Ham players, and in the end he was shoved over, I think, by James Ward-Prowse. I think got the final shove in the back of the England international. And Raheem Sterling has won this free kick here, and standing over this is Enzo Fernandez. Now he's got Gusto on very close by if he wants to play the free kick short, but he may well launch this one into the box. We're on the hour mark. It's 2-1 to West Ham. Fernandez just standing over this 2-man wall there. It's swung in and it's just flicked away there by Souček, and that's going to go out for a throw-in, but it's right by the corner flag. Let's see if Chelsea can launch a long one in, as yes, it looks like Caicedo is now receiving some final instructions from his manager, Pochettino. And I want to say that it may be Chilwell coming off, but we'll see how that all works out in a moment, because it now does look like that change is going to be made. So yes, Caicedo is on. Moises Caicedo is coming on, wearing number 25. And it is, in fact, Ben Chilwell that is coming off. So perhaps a change of system here, Mike.
Yeah, I think potentially they might be looking at going maybe 3 at the back and putting an extra body into the midfield there. In terms of the attack, maybe it'll be Colwill, Silva and Disasi as a back 3 potentially, yeah.
Well, for those of you watching and just listening to the commentary, Moises Caicedo is wearing number 25. And he is on for the Blues to try to get them back into this London derby. So far, dominating the game, but just still West Ham have that lead. And the Chelsea fans must be asking themselves how this is possible, but it is, and that's football for you. Here's Bowen under pressure, and the ball goes out of play, and Colwill picks it up and wins the throw-in. Caicedo gets his first touch as a Chelsea player in the Premier League. And the ball is played forward now, and here is Fernandez. Fernandez plays the ball forward, looking for Sterling. Sterling goes down, but no question of a penalty there. That was it. The ball was won, and coming forward now is Emerson, but he's just almost lost possession of the ball, but he's able to find Antonio, who sets Said Benrahma off on his way. Benrahma approaching the penalty area, but he just couldn't keep the ball in play. The official's flag went up a little bit late there. And it is, in fact, going to be a throw-in to Chelsea. And David Moyes, again, the look on his face, doesn't look a happy man with that decision, Mike.
No, he doesn't. But then, obviously, that's David Moyes for you. He's obviously very animated in terms of what he's like. Obviously, he's just a very proud Scotsman as well, and we all know what they're like in terms of their love of football. But no, I think he'll certainly be pleased with how his West Ham side have got themselves back into the game in the second half anyway, and they have had probably the better of the 15 minutes or so that we've had so far.
Yeah, they've come out and been a bit more open with their play in the second half. As while you was talking there, Mudryk just got the ball across the penalty area, and the shot by Sterling was in fact blocked. So West Ham defending resolutely as well. They're also looking at as from a point of view of if you're defending a lead, they're doing that very well. I just think that they are defending perhaps just a little bit deep. We're seeing action on the West Ham bench as well, and it looks like we are seeing Edison Alvarez, who is going to be coming on very shortly. We're going to take a look and see where the change will be for West Ham there, but that'll be their first substitution, and we'll just see where that change is coming up. He's readying himself now, and here's Sanchez now. He gives the ball to Disasi. Disasi gets the ball back there, and it seems that Caicedo just seems to have dropped into almost a back three position, Mike, which is interesting. But he's moving forward now. Here's Gusto down on the far side, just trying to get away from Paqueta. Gusto drops the ball back into the centre circle to Thiago Silva, to Colwill. Colwill has got Mudryk up there alongside him. Thiago Silva now just gives the ball to Disasi. Disasi trying to find Gusto. Gusto drops the ball back as West Ham are putting a bit more press on Chelsea now. And they're coming forward again now. They won the ball back with Aguerd, and Aguerd gives the ball to Antonio as Chelsea just starting to get back into this game a little bit. And here's Benrahma over the halfway line. Benrahma gets into the penalty area now. Oh, a wonderful challenge there. Fantastic challenge by Gusto. Well, that stopped an opportunity for Chelsea, for West Ham there, Mike. Definitely.
Yeah, it did. That was a brilliant interception there from Gusto. He had to get it right as well, not to not give away a penalty and another opportunity there for West Ham. But that was a brilliant bit of defending. He had to get it spot on, and he did.
Yeah, well, the ball is it's going to be a corner now for West Ham. Let's see if they can take advantage of this and maybe extend their lead. With 65 minutes gone, going ahead to take the corner for West Ham is James Ward-Prowse, another England international. He's had a pretty solid game today as well, and he's going to swing this one in. Antonio is in there, of course, about ready to make a nuisance of himself. It's swung in under the crossbar and headed away. I believe that header was by Jackson that time, but West Ham still have it in the penalty area, and it's given to Paqueta. Paqueta's cross goes right out to the edge of the area, and the shot comes in, and it's just wide. Oh, a good effort there by Aguerd. The cross to the edge of the penalty area, Aguerd getting the shot away, and it just whistled wide. And Mike, interesting move by West Ham.
Yeah, it was a good opportunity there. Aguerd up from the corner, and the ball falls nicely for him. He has a half decent attempt there. Just isn't troubling Sanchez in the goal. So good play from West Ham, but hopefully for their sake, these missed chances won't come back to bite them.
Yeah, well, they've had the chances as well, of course, but you have to say as well, Chelsea have had their opportunities and they haven't really done anything with them, and I'm beginning to wonder now what the next options are for Pochettino and what Chelsea can create. I think Nicholas Jackson has also been marshalled a lot better in this second half. Here he is, though, Jackson. He gives the ball to Gallagher. Gallagher looking for Mudryk, but that was blocked again as Chelsea continued to knock on the door. But West Ham, like a wall defensively. Mudryk now has the ball. He's approaching Koufal. He pulls the ball back to the edge of the area, and good work by Michail Antonio, who then turns to turn defence into attack. Michail Antonio, he's just looking for Benrahma, and can Benrahma just get... Oh, that's a good piece of defending that time. And that was Gusto. Good work by him, just getting ahead of Benrahma to stop Said Benrahma from getting in one-on-one. And it goes all the way back to Areola. And West Ham start again as they have really started to press Chelsea a bit as this second half has gone on. Has to be said, Mike, West Ham really have come more into the game since they've taken the lead.
Yeah, they have, and you just mentioned it right just a second ago. With what you were saying was being correct as well about Nicholas Jackson. They've marshalled him out of this second half very, very well. He's not had the same impact on this game.
And if I can just stop you there, Mike, I'm so sorry. I don't mean to interrupt you, but Aguero has just fouled Nicholas Jackson and has already been booked, so he has been shown the red card. West Ham are down to 10 men for a second yellow card on Aguero, the goal on Aguero, the goal scorer. Looking at this again, you can see. Oh yes, it's late on Jackson, very, very late, and he's not going to get away with that, Mike.
Second and rightly so. Again, the consistency levels are there from the referee. That's going to be a second yellow, and as much as David Moyes might complain, as much as Aguero might be disappointed with that one, you can't make changes like that and lunge in when you're on a booking, and especially with the way that this referee's been performing today, and the consistency level that he's shown, that's going to be a yellow card all day long.
Well, he walks off now, and of course it can't be VAR reviewed anyway because it's a bookable offence. It's not a direct red, but the free kick is taken quickly by Mudryk, and Mudryk's just holding it up there. He gets the cross in, does Mudryk, but it goes wide. And again, Mike, so sorry to interrupt you.
I was just going to say, all I was going to say was we were talking about Nicholas Jackson and not really having much of an impact, but he was the man there that won the foul as well. And, that's what he can do. He's obviously very capable of causing moments out of very little, really, Nicholas Jackson, with the pace and speed that he's got. So, yes, it's a shame to see again get sent off because I thought it actually had a very good game up until then. But Nicholas Jackson getting himself back into this game now when he needs a big 20 minutes or so, and as do Chelsea now as well.
Well, we're seeing some changes here. Said Benrahma is gone off, and we're just trying to see who that is that's come on. And it's Ogbono, Angel Ogbono, that is on. And Benrahma is off.
Yeah, smart move that from David Moyes to kind of put the extra body there at the back because they know about the pace of Nicholas Jackson, of course, and the issue that he's going to cause. So it's always good to have that extra defensive body now that you've just lost one.
Yeah, definitely the right change, I think, in my mind as well, Mike. There's no doubt about that change needed to take place after the sending off. And here is Sterling. Sterling just drops the ball back, and it's back with Disasi. Disasi is Chelsea coming forward now. They are going to really put the heat on this West Ham defence. Here's Jackson. He drops the ball to Caicedo. Caicedo down this near side, it goes to Sterling. Sterling is just looking to get the cross in. He's looking to get the better of Emerson, and he's just not quite been successful. Emerson now comes away with the ball, and a chance for West Ham to maybe orchestrate a break. The ball is played forward to Antonio, who's got a long, lonely job up there pretty much on his own now. And that is a very unenviable task at the moment, and it looks like Alvarez, who we mentioned earlier, is perhaps not coming on now. But we're now seeing some more disagreements between the two teams. Nicholas Jackson commenting a little bit right now, and Zuma is trying to calm him down, which I think is good work by Kurt Zuma and very sporting on the fact that it's nice to see that we're not looking at getting players sent off here.
Absolutely, especially with the way that the game has gone. The red card just a moment ago for his teammate Agard as well. This game could boil over potentially, with obviously being a London derby and some of the changes that we've seen being a little bit feisty, a little bit late potentially as well. So, yeah, it's nice to see that, and the sportsman side of it too. Yeah.
And now with West Ham, they have 19 minutes to hold on to this lead. And it should be interesting to see the work that's coming up for Mikel Antonio. It's going to be very difficult, a task ahead of him. Chelsea, I think, must be looking at maybe bringing on Madueke at some point, I would think, Mike.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think he's a good option to have off the bench, and I'm sure we've got about 19 minutes. I think it'd be a good time to bring him on. Russ has made a comment here. Gallagher lucky not to get sent off just a minute ago for me. That was just in regards to him shoving his man there and kind of, potentially getting away with one. Not too sure what your thoughts on that one are, but for me, yeah, he's certainly lucky to get away without a yellow card anyway, that's for sure.
Yes, and the ball is played long forward for Jared Bowen, and it goes through to the goalkeeper. And Conor Gallagher, well, he probably should have been booked, but it's always difficult for the referee to keep an eye on everything when it's going on at that time. So I don't want to be too harsh to the referee. I think he's actually...
No, I don't want to be harsh on the referee at all. I thought he's refereed this game brilliantly.
Here's Michail Antonio, and he's got Caicedo in front of him, and he's dispossessed. Quickly charging back there is Gusto, and he gives the ball to Caicedo again as Chelsea now moving forward, midway inside their own half of the field, and it's picked up by Enzo Fernandez. Fernandez just plays the ball forward. That's a good ball to Raheem Sterling. Overlapping is Gusto. If Sterling can see him, he does. Gusto gets the cross in. And over on the far side is Mudryk. Mudryk, can he turn? Oh, he slips at the vital moment, does Mudryk. Oh, at the vital moment, just when he was about to perhaps let a shot go there. And this seems to be the really the summary of Chelsea's afternoon so far, Mike.
Yeah, at the moment it does seem that way. They've had moments, they've had good opportunities. They should have been ahead with the missed penalty and some of the other opportunities for Nicholas Jackson and stuff as well. And they are having moments, Chelsea. But West Ham are seeing it through at the moment, but obviously still plenty of time. And they're going to come under a lot of pressure, being a man down as well now.
Well, they've got the ball here now, and it's Gallagher. It's got the option of Gusto down on this near side, and he finds him. Gusto moving forward now more in this second half. He plays the ball across, and it's now back with... that's back with Caicedo. Caicedo just drops it back to Thiago Silva, and it is Disasi. Disasi's sort of cross-come shot is really disappointing, and it goes behind for a goal kick, and another move breaks down for Chelsea. We have 16 minutes to go, and we have another substitution, and it's for Chelsea, and coming on, as we spoke earlier, is Madueke, and coming off is Conor Gallagher. So Gallagher is off. Madueke is on. We said we might see that very soon, Mike.
Yeah, we did, and I think that's a great move in terms of substitution as well to get Madueke on to partner Jackson up top there. I think he's going to cause a few different problems now to this West Ham back line, and it's a smart move taken off a midfielder, I think, as well, in Conor Gallagher, who hasn't really had much impact or sort of effects on this game.
Third substitution for Chelsea, that is, and Madueke will I would suspect will probably partner Jackson up front as well, but we'll see how that all plays out. Here's here is Gusto. Once again, just in an advanced position, he gives the ball to Madueke, gets his first touch of the ball of the game. Caicedo over to Thiago Silva, and here's Fernandez. Fernandez gives the ball back to Caicedo. Caicedo dropped back there to the number 2, Disasi. Disasi gives it to Gusto, but Gusto is dispossessed. And now West Ham coming forward with Michail Antonio. And is he fouled there? Yes, it's a free kick. And a spot of relief now for this West Ham defence. The foul by Caicedo, and a substitution coming up for West Ham. And coming on there, Michail Antonio is coming off, and we're just trying to see who is coming on.
Pablo Fornals that's come on.
Pablo Fornals. So yes, Fornals was relegated to the bench today, and he's on now, and for Michail Antonio, and I think that may be a wise decision, as Antonio now must be exhausted.
Yeah, he's worked very hard today as Michail Antonio leading the line there for West Ham. I thought he's had a very impressive game, and we know what Michail Antonio can do in terms of holding the ball up and bringing others into play, etc. And I thought he's done that exceptionally well today. I thought he's been a very good player for this West Ham side.
Well, it looks like they're going to make an additional substitution. Now that was West Ham's third substitution, I think. No, that's a second substitution. So it looks like they're going to make a third very, very shortly too. There's somebody else down there, or was down there, and they've not really done anything with that at this time. So here's Sterling. Sterling just gives the ball to Gusto and gets it back off Gusto. And here's Enzo Fernandez again in the middle of the thick of the action right now. And the ball is over on the far side to Colwell. And he gives the ball to Michaela Modric. And there is a foul by Kufal, according to referee John Brooks. And Kufal is protesting, but I don't think you can really argue with this. Let's take a look at this again. He steps in front of Modric, doesn't he?
Yeah, for me, that's a definite foul. Good refereeing once again.
And we've got a free kick on the corner of the penalty area here, almost by the touchline. It's going to be swung in. Enzo Fernandez is over it. And Enzo Fernandez, of course, wearing the captain's armband for Chelsea today. And it looks like he is going to be going to swing this one in. And West Ham just trying to organise their defence, but the main suspect in he plays it across to Caicedo instead. Caicedo gives it to Disasi, and it's swung in again by Caicedo, headed out there by Kufal. Good work by him. He gets it almost to the halfway line, and Chelsea are going to have to rebuild their attack again. And there is about 12 minutes left, and very, very soon, Mike, we'll be asking you for your player of the match. So you'll need to perhaps pop your finger.
What I will say as well, Rick, just going back to this Chelsea side, I know you've said there's 12 minutes, but we've had a lot of substitutions in this half. We've had a few, fouls, and obviously there's been a goal in this half as well. We will see, I think, quite a bit of injury time in this in the second half as well. So probably around about 18, 19 minutes remaining for Chelsea to get themselves back level in this game.
The ball is swung across the penalty area, but it misses everybody, and Pablo Fornals, wearing number 8, picks up the ball here. Fornals plays the ball forward, and it's picked up here by Bowen. And Bowen might be away here. He's got 2 Chelsea defenders in front of him, Colwell and Disasi. Bowen, he's got help up there with him now. Bowen gets a shot away. Oh, it's fumbled a little bit by Robert Sanchez, but he's able to recover very, very well. But good ball by Fornals to Bowen. Bowen just making a bit of a nuisance of himself there, Mike.
Yeah, he was, and it was a decent effort as well against Sanchez there, who obviously in the first half showed that he was a little bit suspect in terms of a couple of errors that he made. So, yeah, it's an opportunity there for West Ham once again, knowing that Chelsea keeper, has made a couple of mistakes early on, and that, he wasn't comfortable on that last one either.
Madueke cutting inside here into the penalty area. Madueke is making a nuisance of himself. He pulls the ball back, and it's going to be crossed in by Gusto, and it's headed out by Kurt Zouma back to the edge of the area, and it's just swung wide by Colwell. Oh, it just came right back out to him, and he struck it sweetly, but he only just managed to pull it wide. Oh, that's a chance for Chelsea, but a good effort by Colwell. Just before I get your thoughts on that, Mike, we do have another substitution for West Ham. I think it's the one we were talking about earlier. Coming off here, looks like I think it's Jared Bowen coming off for West Ham. Just going to
James Ward-Prowse is coming off.
Oh, it's James Ward-Prowse coming off. James Ward-Prowse is coming off, and coming on is wearing number 19. It's the substitute we were talking about earlier, Edson Alvarez, who is now coming on and is the third substitution for West Ham United.
I think James Ward-Prowse can be very pleased with his efforts this afternoon as well. I think that he's endeared himself to a lot of West Ham fans. Obviously, they spent decent money, and I think it's around about 30 million or so that they spent on the former Southampton man. And I think he's certainly shown the West Ham fans that he's more than capable of playing a big part in this, getting the assist for the opening goal. And yeah, he's had a decent enough game for what was his first start for West Ham, I think, in the league maybe.
Yeah, I think he's performed admirably, and I think you've got a difficult choice for your player of the match today, as there's action also on the Chelsea bench, and we are going to be seeing the.
I've got a difficult choice because I'm not going to won't be too sure on how many of them are actually stayed on the pitch. The amount of substitutes we've had.
Well, that's true, and it's going to be Chelsea's fourth for Mason Burstow. He's standing there waiting to come on at the moment. So it looks like we're going to see Mason Burstow. An additional forward is played by Gusto, down to Sterling. Sterling, edge of the penalty area. He gives the ball to Madueke, and Madueke, it's a good challenge by Alvarez, and that's his first involvement in this game. And it goes behind for a corner to Chelsea. I don't know whether we're going to see this change now. Yes, we are. So coming off is Gusto for Chelsea, and Mason Burstow is coming on 82 minutes. And let's see if he can affect the way this game has gone. And what do you think of that change, Mike?
Yeah, I think it's another good change there from Chelsea. Another forward coming on. When you're in a losing position, it's what you've got to do, really. Bring an extra attacking body on. Yeah, so it's. I don't think there's anything untoward regarding that challenge. That substitution. Sorry, I should say.
Well, we've got another corner down this near side as Mudryk just tried to cross the ball in. It was blocked, and it's going to be a corner. And Mudryk is going to swing this ball in. And we have 7 minutes left here. It's swung in by Mudryk. It's headed away there. And it's headed away by Paqueta. And it goes out of play for a throw-in for Chelsea. Perhaps came off Pablo Fornals. And Chelsea on again. Here's Enzo Fernandez. Gives the ball to Mudryk. Mudryk gets a deep cross in. It just escapes everyone. It's headed back there. And it's right back to the edge of the penalty area to Sterling. Sterling gives the ball to Madueke. Madueke back to Sterling. And Sterling cuts into the penalty area now. Sterling, can he get the cross away? Oh, it's headed into the air. And just doesn't get that ball very, very far. And it's now back with Pablo Fornals. Pablo Fornals. And under pressure there is Emerson from Jackson, of course. No surprise there. And it's cleared out of play, and it's going to be a throw-in. With 6 minutes to go, you have to be looking at how close West Ham are to touching victory here. And I'll just get your thoughts on that in a minute, Mike. I'm just going to, at the moment now, the ball is with down this near side to Sterling. And Sterling just trying to get away from Paqueta. He gets across in all the way to Mudryk. Oh, and he just didn't catch the volley. I think he was sort of caught between crossing and shooting, and he's offside anyway. But that would have been a good chance for Mudryk, Mike.
Yeah, it was a very good opportunity there for Mudryk. Ball falls for him, and he just kind of couldn't control that one, really. So an opportunity, though, for Chelsea, and time's kind of the essence now for them. I know we've said there's probably going to be quite a bit of injury time, but they've really got to get themselves level pretty soon if they want to get anything from this game.
Yeah, it just looks like he tried to side foot that towards the goal. Maybe just being a little bit too cute there. We've got 5 minutes left. In about 3 minutes, I'm going to be asking Mike for his player of the match. If you're listening, please feel free to comment. We have had a comment in there in the second half by. Okay, so no. If we can keep the comments just to football related, that would be very kind. Thank you so much. And yes, going back to what you were saying, Mike. It looks to me now like they're so close to victory now, West Ham, and I'm just beginning to wonder whether Chelsea are really running out of ideas here. Here's Caicedo. He gives the ball down this side to Sterling, as Chelsea once again are attempting to unlock the door that is the West Ham defence. Here's Sterling. Sterling just seems to slip there. Is he? It looks like there's been given a free kick, has it? No, it's a throw-in, and it's taken quickly by Caicedo. Caicedo gets the ball back, and just turning there is Madueke. Madueke tries to just under pressure there. Mason Burstow trying to win the ball back, and he does. A good ball there by Mason Burstow to Raheem Sterling. Sterling just drops the ball back there, and it's now with Thiago Silva, and just one back there by West Ham on the edge of the penalty area with Koufal, and Koufal is fouled, and we're going to have a free kick. Mike, do you see Chelsea getting back into this? They're restricted in terms of their chances. I think since the goal, they haven't really created that much.
No, they haven't, and of course they do have a lot of attacking options on the pitch. They've got Jackson, they've got Mudwake, they've got Mudryk as well. Obviously, they've also got Burstow that they brought on just a moment ago, and they are playing against 10 men, remember, as well. So this is very good from West Ham. They've done very, very well to see this one out, if they're able to see it through to full time, of course. But so far, so good for them. I think, they're really standing up to the challenge at the moment.
And here's Paqueta now, just under pressure. He's taking it all the way to the corner flag. And Caicedo does he play it off Paqueta? It's good work by Paqueta holding the ball up there by the corner flag. Although I think it may be a little early to do that, given the way things are at the moment with injury time. As Mike said, we could very well be seeing an additional 7 or 8 minutes in the stoppage time at the end of this game. But we're going to have a throw in here, and David Moyes is pacing back and forth. He knows what an important game this would be and an important win it would be. And again, here's Paqueta, just plays it off Caicedo again, as Caicedo just sort of just maybe chatting at Paqueta a little bit. In just a moment here, we're going to ask Mike for his player of the match. And just a moment, but Emerson's got the throw-in right now for West Ham, about 4 yards from the Chelsea corner flag, and the throw-in is taken, and it finds just under there, looks like that's Bowen there under pressure. Bowen, and he just runs the ball out of play. So, Chelsea, Mike, without further ado, would you like to give us your player of the match, please?
Yeah, I've given it to James Ward-Prowse of West Ham. He's got himself 2 assists today on both of the goals. And I also feel that he's had a very big impact on this performance. I thought he's really settled in nicely into this West Ham side. And I think he had a big performance there. He's going to be a big player for West Ham throughout the rest of the season. So for me, I've given it to the West Ham's new £30 million man, James Ward-Prowse, for his performance today.
All right, thank you for that, Mike. That's I would have to say I agree with that. I think that's a very reasonable choice under the circumstances, because I think he has played very well. We've had a comment from Amelia Dodd saying hi, Ross. And it's good to hear from some of you commenting today. Please feel free to comment on whether you agree with Mike or whether you might have picked somebody else. But we're inside the last 30 seconds of this game now. And whatever injury time our referee, our fourth official, Craig Pawson, chooses to add, it looks like he was just shoved in the back there with Bowen from Disasi.
It was going to be close in terms of player of the match, by the way. It might have been a little bit closer if Agerd had managed to keep himself on the pitch. I thought he'd had a good game up until then as well, as I said earlier.
Well, there's probably a number of options, so it really is a matter of opinion, really, on how you see this game as going. I personally agree with Mike. I think James Ward-Prowse is a really good choice. Here is Paqueta. Paqueta just drops the ball back there to Owen. Looking for this now is Fornals. He's got a bit of space in the penalty area. Can he do something with it? Fornals, he gets a shot away. Good save by Sanchez. Well, Sanchez is furious at the Chelsea defence, and well, he might be. They fell asleep there, Mike.
Yeah, they did, and they can't afford to be doing that going into the closing stages of this game. Obviously, if West Ham put that one into the back of the net, then that game is going to be put to bed. So, yeah, I'm not surprised that Sanchez is having a bit of a moan at his defence there.
Well, Fornals coming so close, and now Emerson's getting into the penalty area. And once again, West Ham actually looking at a threat with being with 10 men. It's Paqueta. Is he shoved over there? He goes over, but the referee says no. He's now down, and Chelsea are currently down to 9. West Ham are currently down to 9 as Chelsea stream forward with Jackson. But a wonderful challenge by Souček there. Great challenge by him, who he himself may have been a consideration for player of the match. Here's Mudryk. It's down this near side to Mudweke. Mudweke cuts inside. Can he get the shot away? Mudweke takes a deflection, and it just goes wide. Oh, Mudweke comes so close. A deflection off Souček. just took it away from Areola, but just the wrong side of the post from Chelsea's point of view. Actually, it's a wonderful save from Areola. We'll get back to it in a moment. Modric tries to get the cross, but it's blocked by Emerson and goes behind for a corner. That's actually a wonderful save by Areola. Match-saving save.
Yeah, most definitely. Match-saving block from Souček at first, and then a match-saving save from Areola just after that as well. Or match-winning save, I should say, potentially. Very good bit of play there from West Ham in those two moments.
It's going to be a corner for Chelsea. There's got 4 minutes left. There's 6 minutes of stoppage time as Modric gets the cross in, and he just couldn't get it on the head of Colwell. And the ball is cleared away. Just trying to win that ball back under pressure there. But Chelsea do get the ball back, and it's Madueke. Madueke just drops the ball back to Thiago Silva. Silva drops the ball down this near side to Madueke as Chelsea continue to turn the heat. The crossing is a disappointing one, comfortably cleared away by Zuma. And it only goes as far as Fernandes. Fernandes gives the ball to Thiago Silva. Chelsea still turning on the heat, looking to get back into this game. Caicedo gives it to Enzo Fernandez. It's launched in, and Areola just plucks it out the air. It might have been just as easy to let it go behind, but he probably didn't want to consider the fact that there might be somebody behind him, and he just plucks it out of the air. And there's a look of, well, almost a look of defeat on the face of Maurizio Pochettino, Mike. I
was just going to say that as well. It did look like he was quite sort of resigned to potentially losing the game there, yeah.
Well, it's at the moment, I'm just not seeing the final ball being right for Chelsea. And at the moment, I think West Ham are working harder with the 10 men. And here's Paqueta again, and he's got Emerson overlapping on the far side. And Emerson now picks up the ball. And Emerson just gets the ball into the penalty area. And he gets the ball back, Emerson. Is he going to get the shot away? He goes down under pressure. And it's a penalty to West Ham. It's a penalty to West Ham. And it's going to be for the foul, and it's Caicedo is the guilty party, and that is lazy defending.
Yeah, definitely, very very lazy defending there from Caicedo. That's the last thing you want when you're already chasing a game. Sorry, I should say. An opportunity here now for West Ham to put this one to bed and to give themselves to wrap up the 3 points. Sorry, I should say, with this penalty.
I mean, this. I have to say, I would be very concerned if I was a Chelsea fan right now, with this defending that I'm seeing here from Chelsea, and with this overall work ethic that I'm seeing from Chelsea today. And we're going to get into that in a moment, Mike, after the penalty. But it's going to be Paqueta who steps up for West Ham with the opportunity to put this game to bed now. Paqueta against Robert Sanchez. Paqueta. He steps up, and here he goes. He does a dummy, and he steps up and sends Sanchez the wrong way, and it's 3-1, and it's game over as 10 men West Ham pick up the 3 points. 3-1 right now, and Chelsea are down. They are out, and despite the possession that they've had, they have not been able to turn it into goals. And Mike, if you was a Chelsea fan, and I know you're not, but if you was a Chelsea fan, how would you feel about this?
Oh, very, very disappointed. I think they had a very good opportunity themselves to get themselves a win. Getting back level at 1-1, missing the penalty, and then playing probably about 20 minutes or so against 10 men. And West Ham have defended resolutely. They've been able to get Chelsea on the counter attack, and I thought Caicedo they're very lazy in the challenge, but. Lots and lots of problems for Chelsea, still loads to deal with. And we were saying earlier about the amount of money that has been spent by the Chelsea board and Pochettino. And I was saying that they potentially could do with signing one or two more. They certainly need a couple more players in there, Chelsea, to sort of to have any chance this season. For me, they're really struggling yet again as they did last year.
Yeah, and you just saw a look there at the Chelsea fans streaming out in mass droves. Here's Sterling though. Let's see what he can do. Good challenge by Emerson. And the big difference is between West Ham and Chelsea. It's a work ethic that this West Ham team have done in resolutely defending, chasing down every ball, and just closing Chelsea down at every opportunity. And the ball is headed out of play that time. And it's going to be a throw-in as we are approaching full time here. Alvarez heading that out of play that time. And the referee, I think, is going to blow up any time now. But here's Chelsea again with Raheem Sterling. Sterling has got Burstow alongside him. He decides to try and play in Madwecki. Emerson now coming away with the ball. He just gives it to Bowen. And Bowen just drops the ball there to Alvarez. Alvarez under pressure by two Chelsea players, and it's eventually knocked out of play by Enzo Fernandez. And it's going to be a throw-in to West Ham. And I think the referee has got his whistle in his mouth, and that's full time. And it's West Ham 3, Chelsea 1. And, well, what a performance by West Ham, and what an exciting second half. What we saw in the second half was a goal by Michail Antonio in 53 minutes. It was against the run of play. Aguerd managed to pick up a second yellow card for a foul there, reducing West Ham to 10 men, but Chelsea unable to break down the resolute West Ham defence. Outstanding, such work ethic from West Ham today. They've been absolutely brilliant to a man. And finally, the lazy Chelsea defending cost them with a late penalty by Paqueta on 95 minutes. Just before I hand back to Russ, Mike, do you want to just give me your summary of that game?
Yeah, very good performance from West Ham. I thought they, very much controlled that second half after getting themselves in front. Chelsea can obviously count themselves a little bit unlucky with a few moments in the game early on, with the penalty being saved and a couple of chances that they had through Jackson and co. I think Raheem Sterling had a couple as well. Conor Gallagher, I think, had one from long distance, which went wide as well. So they had moments, Chelsea, in the game, but second half, I thought West Ham were brilliant. I think that the goal from Michail Antonio, a brilliant finish. And then I was, to be honest, if I'm going to go back to how I was thinking at the time, I did think they'd be under a lot more pressure than what they were after losing Aguerd to a second yellow, and they dealt with that very, very well, and then were comfortable in doing so, really, and were able to get themselves the third goal to seal the game as well, with Paqueta's penalty. So no, from a West Ham perspective, I think they'll be delighted with that win. And as I said before, Chelsea have still got an awful lot of work to do yet.
All right, thank you very much, Mike, and thank you for your co-com duties today. Thank you so much for that. Just before I hand back to Mike, we've had another comment in the comment section by Media, Radio, Jingles and Gaming. Hello, Paul, and hello, Mike, aka Storm FM Guy. Hello, Media Radio. Nice to hear from you. Thanks for commenting today, and I hope you enjoyed the game. And we're going to go back to Ross now in the studio.
Thank you very much there to Paul and to Mike, aka Storm FM Guy. Is Mike Orneman, the owner of Storm FM, which is a brilliant online radio station.
Russ, I'm not just Storm FM Guy. I'm a man of many hats.
That is true, Mike. That is true. And great to have Mike back on the channel today as well. We'll go through and get his overall thoughts on the game in just a moment or so, and then we'll fetch Paul back in towards the end, and we'll ask Mike some questions as well. As Arsenal travel to Selhurst Park, take on Crystal Palace. We'll do a little preview of that one. That won't be live with us on the commentary tomorrow, but we'll get a little preview of that one for you at the end of our coverage from this game today. So we're just going to go through the scores. We're going to take a quick break, then we'll come back and get Mike and Paul's thoughts on the game that took place today, and then a preview for the match between Arsenal and Crystal Palace. So first of all, and then we'll end with the Premier League scores right at the very end from all of the weekend. So we'll miss out on the Premier League right now. We're in the Championship today. Finished Norwich City 3, Millwall 1. In the French Ligue 1, it finished Lille 2, Nantes 0, Le Havre 1, Brest 2, Lorient 1, Nice 1, Reims 2, Clermont 0. Latest score after 38 minutes is Monaco 2, Strasbourg 0, and Lens against Rennes kicks off at 7:45 UK time. In the German Bundesliga, finished Union Berlin 4, Mainz 1 and Frankfurt 1, Darmstadt 0. In the Italian Serie A, two games underway so far. At half time is AS Roma 1, Salernitana 1 and Sassuolo 0. Atlanta nil. Sassuolo against Atlanta, second half underway in that one. 2 evening kickoffs, Lecce against Lazio and Udinese against Juventus, both kick off at 7:45. In the Scottish Premiership, no action there today, but in the Scottish League Cup, one of the Premier League champions from that season has been knocked out of the Scottish League Cup. We'll get to their results in a minute, but also be going past Partick Thistle, winning 4-0. Hibernian 2, Raith Rovers 1, and the one that's been knocked out is Celtic. They lost 1-0 to Kilmarnock earlier today as well. And in La Liga, just to tell you, is Girona 1, Getafe 0, 37 minutes on the clock there. 8 minutes on the clock is Barcelona 0, Cadiz 0. Real Betis against Atletico Madrid kicks off at 8:30 p.m. this evening. We're going to take a quick break right now. When we do return, we'll get the thoughts of Mike and Paul on today's match, and then get Mike and Paul's thoughts on the match between Crystal Palace and Arsenal, which takes place tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. But right now, let's take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Commentary Hub. Welcome back to our Premier League coverage. Today's finished West Ham 3, Chelsea 1. And we're going to get a thoughts now of Mike Onneman and Paul James very shortly on that one. And I'm going to preview for the game tomorrow between Crystal Palace and Arsenal, which is taking place at Selhurst Park at 8 o'clock tomorrow. Well, then we'll first go across to Mike Onneman. Then, and Mike, West Ham won 3-1 in the end. It was I would have to say West Ham were probably the better side in the second half, especially after getting that goal. But Chelsea have really got a lot of work to do, haven't they, Mike?
Yeah, they do. They've got lots and lots of work to do, Chelsea. They've had, a torrid season last season where they really struggled to get anywhere or to do anything in terms of domestic or cup football, really. And obviously they've had a lot of turnover this summer, change of manager, change of a lot of players as well. It's obviously going to take them a bit of time to gel and to settle, but for me, there's still problems there. There's still frailties defensively, and there's still, as I said, Chelsea still need a few more bodies, if I'm being honest as well, and certainly a bit more quality about them to have any chance of really challenging anywhere in the season again.
Yes, and Paul, just finish Paul in quickly on Chelsea. And Paul, you've seen Chelsea today. You've seen them. I think you've probably seen them a few times, this couple of times already this season, maybe. What have you made to Chelsea so far this season, especially in this game today? And they really need to do quite a lot to not have another season like they had last season, don't they?
Oh, look, Ross, I mean, I'm not being funny, but, there's no work ethic there. There's no work ethic there, especially defensively. There was too many times that Mikel Antonio's goals, as wonderful as a strike as it was, they just didn't get close to him. The third goal was lazy defending, and they fell asleep at the back. It actually could have been more, because Paqueta had a chance, I think, just prior to that. It could have been more. You can't defend like that. You can't have a work ethic like that in the Premier League and expect to be successful. It's a very, very. If I was a Chelsea fan, Ross, I'd be very, very concerned on that display. Local derby too.
Yes, absolutely. And with that local derby defeat for Chelsea, Mike, you'll be happy to know, also remain the only side who have won more local derbies in the Premier League in the London club with 150. Chelsea remain at 149. And so, Mike, as an Arsenal fan, that must make you feel proud to hear that stat at the end of the game.
Yeah, but I mean, it'd be making me feel even more proud if it's 151 tomorrow, or tomorrow night, I should say. But it's nice to have that. Obviously, it doesn't win you trophies or anything like that. Winning these accolades of, being the best team in London in terms of winning the derbies and stuff. But it's a nice thing to have. But yeah, it'd be 150 is nice. 151 even better.
Yes, and Omar, you said you wanted to add something on as well from your points on the game as well, Mike, and on potential, and also on Chelsea as well. What would you like to say on that, Mike?
No, it was just obviously Paul said about the defense, but I thought going forward, they brought on Mudryk, they brought on Madueke, they brought on who was the other striker? They brought on Burstow as well, who didn't really have a sniff in that game when they brought him on. That's a worry. They're playing against 10 men there for 20 minutes or so, and West Ham were just able to deal with it very, very easily. That's a big worry as well in terms of not just the defensive side, but the forward play as well.
Absolutely, Mike. Absolutely. And you gave James Ward-Prowse the man of the match today, Mike. And I agree with the reasonings behind that, and I agree with what you just said there about Chelsea as well. But just on Ward-Prowse at the moment, Mike, fantastic debut for him today. Just got a couple of stats, 3 stats here from James Ward-Prowse. His passing accuracy was 96%. He created 2 chances and he got 2 assists. Can't ask for much better than that for a debutant like James Ward-Prowse, can you, Paul?
No, absolutely not. It was a brilliant performance by James Ward-Prowse. He looked very much like he's an England international. His work ethic, his passing, his creativity in the midfield, and to be fair, he was up against it today in who he had against him in the midfield. On the opposing side. So you can't ignore the fact that really was a wonderful performance. And when I look at who he was sort of up against with Enzo Fernandez and Conor Gallagher there in the centre of the midfield in his opposite number, it really is a really good performance by James Ward-Prowse today. And just to touch on what Mike said regarding Chelsea's attack, I totally agree with him on that because, towards the end, after the second goal went in, I felt Chelsea didn't create enough either.
Yes, absolutely. That's going to be a big worry for Mauricio Pochettino, that Chelsea not creating enough, especially against 10 men as well. And I've just seen the goal again from Mikel Antonio, which you mentioned as well, Paul. And I'll come to you on this, Mike. He had a lot to do, did Mikel Antonio, when the ball got played to him. Desai didn't get close enough to him. And there's a gap which Levi Colwell just leaves open, which Antonio exploited and going behind there, Mike, and that's a bit of the difference. West Ham were able to explore the gaps in Chelsea's defence, even though Chelsea had 11 men, whereas West Ham's spaces, when they had 10 men, Chelsea weren't able to explore them gaps, Mike, and that's just got to be a worry as well for Pochettino.
Yeah, most definitely. I think all 3 of the goals, the first goal was a great delivery from James Ward-Prowse, and Gerd gets the better of Conor Gallagher there, who I think was poor in terms of what he did in that moment. And then obviously, as you say there, the second goal was a great finish from Mikel Antonio. But then, Colwell, poor defending from him, allows Antonio to get the other side. And then I think it's Disasi as well that he's up against there that maybe could do a little bit better. I think he get the ball away, actually, Disasi in the first incident as well. And then obviously West Ham countered from there. And then obviously the penalty as well for Caicedo, where he was very, very lazy. So, a lot of issues, both defensively and offensively, for Chelsea to deal with. But we knew that, I think, anyway.
Yes, absolutely, Mike, absolutely. And West Ham, fantastic win for them today. We're going to switch our attentions now to Monday night's game. And before we fetch Mike in on the Monday night match, with his Arsenal side involved against a Crystal Palace side who have lost Wilfried Zaha already this season. Although they might have lost Michael Olise, but he signed a new contract. And Paul, Crystal Palace against Arsenal. That's going to be a good game tomorrow night. Kick off at 8 o'clock UK time. What's your thoughts on that game tomorrow? And big boost for Crystal Palace leading up to that. Michael Olise signing a new contract and staying at Selhurst Park rather than opting to go to Chelsea, who today put in a terrible performance. And for Crystal Palace against Arsenal, big plus for Crystal Palace with Olise staying. What do you reckon to that game tomorrow?
Well, I've seen a lot of Arsenal last season, and I've already seen quite a bit of them this season. I almost am becoming the voice of Arsenal on the commentary hub right now, and I like commenting on them. But I wish I could do tomorrow's game. But the problem is, Arsenal are not going to find this game easy. What I noticed as well with Arsenal from the previous week when I covered them against Nottingham Forest, their defence can be put under pressure. And I have to be honest, I don't think Arsenal are going to find this a very easy game tomorrow at all. I think they'll have to be at their best, if I'm being honest, to win. I think you're going to have to see some vintage Arsenal tomorrow.
Yes, absolutely, Paul. Absolutely, my friend. And Mike, what's your take on the game tomorrow? Do you agree with Paul there? And like I mentioned, Palace having that big boost with Michael Olise signing that new contract and staying at Selhurst Park, they're going to be really up for this one, especially being the first game at home.
Yeah, most definitely. I think that's a big boost for them with Olise signing the new deal and rejecting Chelsea. I think he's going to be a big player for Crystal Palace this season, even more so with the fact they lost Zaha as well. But yeah, I agree with Paul. I think it's going to be a difficult evening for us. I think, us being Arsenal, I think we've really got to be at our best. I think, we've got to just kind of, play our way. We're going to have big performances from the likes of Martinelli and Saka and Trossard maybe, or whoever's chosen to lead the line. Declan Rice, of course, in midfield and guys like that as well. But I think Crystal Palace will certainly fancy their chances being at home in the first home game for them of the season, as you say. And from an Arsenal point of view, obviously we're missing Yuri and Timber, so there'll be changes there at the back to, as what Paul rightly said, was already kind of, not exactly the most convincing of defensive performances last week against Forest. So I don't know whether Kieran Tierney will potentially come in or whether it be a change of system. I'm not too sure, but it's going to be an interesting one. I mean, like you both just said, really. And I think, if it's anything like this London derby, then we'll be in for another cracker again.
Yes, absolutely, Mike. Absolutely. And just one question I want to ask you, Mike, and then I'll go for the prediction side of it. Mike, first of all, David Raya signed from Brentford on loan, going to be viewed to a permanent next summer, which, besides if I'm listening to the Brentford chief exec, he will be made permanent. Played behind closed doors game in midweek on Thursday night, should I say, against Luton Town, where Arsenal won 3-0. Leandro Trossard netting a brace there, and Bukayo Saka, by all accounts, from what the reports say, also on the score sheet. David Raya keeping a clean sheet on his first Arsenal start, even though he was behind the closed doors friendly. Do you see that David Raya could potentially start tomorrow night, or do you think Mikel Arteta will keep the faith with Aaron Ramsdale tomorrow?
See, this is a big topic for discussion at the moment. I think they're both fantastic goalkeepers. I really like Aaron Ramsdale, but I think if you're bringing in somebody of David Raya's quality, you're bringing him in to be a number one. So for me, he starts tomorrow.
Yes, Paul, for you, does David Raya start, or is David Raya going to be on the bench for Arsenal tomorrow, in your opinion?
It's hard to argue with Mike, to be honest. As much as I'm a fan of Aaron Ramsdale, and I really am, it is hard to argue that point. But I think we can't underestimate also Aaron Ramsdale's performance. In my opinion, he should be England's number one. And I think his performances are generally very calm and solid, and he's an excellent shot stopper and has really, really won a lot of games for Arsenal. But it's hard to argue with Mike's point on that, as much as I'm a fan of Ramsdale.
Yes, absolutely then. So, Paul, I'll come to you first of all. Crystal Palace Arsenal tomorrow. If I were to press you for a prediction and a scoreline in that game, and I know normally you don't like getting scorelines out and sometimes you get them wrong, what is your score prediction for that one tomorrow?
Well, I'm going to answer it. But just so that everybody knows who's listening right now, this is probably going to be wrong. But
Because it's gonna be wrong because he's gonna predict a 4-4 draw.
No, I'm not going to do that. But I am going to say 1-0 Arsenal.
So 1-0 to the Arsenal is from Paul's thing there. And Mike, if it was Trevor Sportsby on here right now, he'd have probably said 4-4 because that's where he normally goes when his predictions for games that we do, which is when he's been involved or listening, he's always get a prediction out of 4-4. For me, I think Arsenal will edge it, and I think it'll be close. But I think Arsenal will win it 2-1 for me. Mike, how do you see the game going to mine? What's your score prediction? And if you think Palace will win, you can say that. But what do you reckon the score's going to be tomorrow, my friend?
You know me, I'm never going to predict against Arsenal. We could be playing Man City and there could be 99 games unbeaten and I'll still predict us to win because it's me. It's blind faith, blind optimism, whatever you want to refer to it as. But yeah, for me, I'm going to side with Paul. 1-0 to the Arsenal. Bukayo Saka with a winner.
And I think Saka and I think potentially Martin Odegaard to score for the Arsenal tomorrow in my 2-1 prediction, with Elise grabbing the goal for Crystal Palace. Paul, if I were to pressure for a player to score for Arsenal tomorrow, who are you going for?
Ross, you're asking the impossible. There's so many on that Arsenal front line that's capable of scoring. Martinelli, Saka. I'm a big fan of Odegaard. I'm a massive Martin Odegaard fan, so I'm going to go with him.
Okie dokie, then there's your predictions then for the Crystal Palace Arsenal game. Just before we do wrap up and leave you tonight, I'm just going to quickly run through all of the other scores which have took place across the Premier League weekend today, starting with the Friday night game. But before I do that, Media Radio Jingles and Gaming has been on again, and he says, and I would like to put a message out after this as well, in case they didn't hear it earlier, and for our listeners, in case they didn't hear it earlier as well. It says, I've got to say, Nick did a phenomenal commentary with the England match this morning. And I must say as well, from myself, Mike, Paul, JB, I know Barry as well, and quite a lot of others here on the commentary of Nicholas. I think you're doing a fantastic job throughout the Women's World Cup. You're a great asset to the channel. Great work this summer, and we'll be back. You'll be able to commentate on an England game, the women's game again very soon. And just to let our listeners know, very soon, the voice of Nicholas Jones, who you heard this morning on the Spain 1 England 0 game, you'll be able to hear him later in the season on some of our Premier League coverage, whether that's in the presenter's chair, commentary lead chair, or co-commentary chair. We'll have Nicholas Jones with us for some of our Premier League coverage this season, as well as the women's and the WSL and the England women's, and we'll have him hopefully for some of the Wales international matches in September, October and November as well, and some more great matches from Nicholas on the way. So great coverage again, and a big shout out to Nicholas Jones, our women's lead correspondent.
Yeah, most definitely. I echo that as well. I think he's done a sterling job. He's been exceptional. And yeah, fair play. He's really put a lot of time, effort, dedication, and everything into that. Yeah, he's been a real asset, as you say. I think he's been brilliant throughout the tournament.
Yes, and I just want to say a big thank you to Media Radio Jingles and Gaming as well, who is also mentioned and said to me as well, says, you did brilliant in the Women's World Cup as well, Russ, especially in the Nigeria game, which was very tense. It was tense.
Yeah, I agree. Indeed. Obviously, with that one going to penalties as well, and obviously the Lauren James red card and stuff, yeah, I think all coverage of the Women's World Cup has been excellent. I like this Media Radio Jingles and Gaming, by the way, because they also said that the Storm FM guy does the best Stevenage FC coverage. I don't know who that is, but I like you.
I'm not sure of his name, but thank you very much for your continued support, my friend. Very much appreciated by everyone on the commentary, whether that's myself, Mike, Paul, Nicholas, JB, Liam, all the others who we've heard throughout the years, since we started in February 2021, all the way to now. And since that time, we've grown from strength to strength and just going even better as the years go on. So let's round up then with the Premier League scores starting on Friday night. It was Nottingham Forest 2, Sheffield United 1. In the Premier League yesterday, it was Fulham 0, Brentford 3, Liverpool 3, Bournemouth 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Brighton Hove Albion 4, Tottenham Hotspur 2, Manchester United 0, Manchester City 1, Newcastle United 0, and today Aston Villa 4, Everton 0, and our featured game West Ham United 3, Chelsea 1. Big thank you again to everyone who's tuned in tonight. Big thank you to our brilliant commentators as well. Thanks to Miraj who tuned in earlier as well. Thanks to Amelia as well who tuned in as well, and Media Radio, Jingles and Gaming as well. Big thank you to Paul, and a big thank you and a welcome back to the channel. Been a while since he's been with us, to Mike Ornament as well. Great coverage as always from you two today.
Thank you, Russ. Good to be back. I've enjoyed it.
And from myself, Paul, Mike, and the rest of the team here at the Commentary Hub, we hope you enjoyed this one today, and we hope you enjoyed the Spain versus England game in the Women's World Cup earlier. Even if you're an England fan and you didn't get, and the result didn't go our way, we hope you enjoyed the coverage from Nicholas as always, and enjoyed our World Cup coverage as well. From all the team here at the Commentary Hub, a very big thank you all to you all for listening. From all the team here, it's a very good night to you all. Bye bye.